We lost ourselves again, but I'm not faking, I'm not happy, I'm not tired, and I'm not laughing now. I'm not laughing now. So don't be fake to keep me happy. I'm not tired and I'm not laughing now. I'm not laughing now. Even before we lost, we had to pay the cost. I know that you're gone. Yeah, I know that you're gone. Running around, you know, where did you have to go? We lost ourselves again. You lost yourself again. But I'm not faking, I'm not happy, I'm not tired, and I'm not laughing now. I'm not laughing now. So don't be fake to keep me happy. I'm not tired and I'm not laughing now. I'm not laughing now. Too many years of war, stretching the afterglow. I know that you're gone. Yeah, I know that you're gone. You're running around, you know. Where did the good times go? We lost ourselves again. We lost ourselves again. But I'm not faking, I'm not happy, I'm not tired, and I'm not laughing now. I'm not laughing now. So don't be fake to keep me happy. I'm not tired and I'm not laughing now. I'm not laughing now. No, I'm not faking, I'm not happy, I'm not tired and I'm not laughing now. No, I'm not It's the gods who are lonely. They don't know how we feel, and that's the reason why they won't forgive. For the power and the glory, for all eternity, and yet no time for our hopes and dreams.
It's time. We are here at the ASL Round of 4, Flash versus Day2.
There is not a thing more epic than this. Get out there and tell everybody. Spread the word around the internet. It doesn't matter what game you play or if you play none. It doesn't matter what esport you watch or if you don't think esports is cool at all, because this will change everything. The greatest rivalry in all of esports, okay? We cannot possibly hype this enough.
It's insane. It's completely packed once again here in the AfreecaTV studio. And this is crazy. Brood War is now 18 years old. We have the greatest Brood War rivalry, in fact, the greatest esports rivalry, the greatest gaming rivalry meeting up here tonight, Flash versus Day2. The winner goes on to face C in the finals.
It is so epic. I almost don't want to say this until the stream gets up a little bit more, because I want everyone to really understand what you're about to watch. So let me just go ahead and say it. Flash versus Day2, we say it's the most epic. Okay, think of things that are epic, like Sue making 4 GSLs in a row, finals.
Right.
That was pretty awesome. These guys met in 3 MSLs in a row.
Yeah.
They both have the Golden Mouse,
MSL,
which is 3
Brood War
OSL
tournament,
victories.
which is a tournament that's no longer around anymore, but I think of that like a GSL.
There's like 4 or 5 people max with 3 OSL victories. They each have one.
Yeah.
Okay. Flash has 3 MSL victories. He's one of only 3 or 4 players that have 3 of each. Day2 has 2. They are the most accomplished, best players that we have ever had in esports.
It's 2017, by the way, and we're still going strong here in Brood War. We got a full house. Our numbers have been off the hook here, meeting, I think, everybody's expectation in every language.
Well,
this is already easily the biggest esports show ever.
Yeah. What fools we were to not just know that this would occur, because we lived our lives for StarCraft 1 for so many years.
Right.
Moved out here for StarCraft 1.
Made us into the men we are today.
Yeah, no, and
sure many of you guys watching at home who are about our age could relate.
This is the quality of this game, that everyone wants to show up, everyone wants to watch. These mythical titans of a video game. When they first walked in, like when Day2 walked up.
Look at the Muta in the back.
That's awesome. It looks like Day2 too.
Yeah.
Jaedong's wings are bigger, but
Certainly. Shoots 5 glaives, too.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
When Jaedong walked up to the stage, people were freaking out. The first person showed up at 10 a.m. this morning. There is a cafe down
Put that
the
in
street.
perspective, it's 7 p.m. now. So somebody showed up 9 hours early. You better get there very early for the ASL finals, by the way.
It's I think the venue holds 1,500 or so, or maybe a little bit more.
It's not going to be enough, man.
No, not enough at all.
It's not going to be enough.
It's going to be madness, and one of these two guys is going to be in the finals as the favorite.
That's right.
And, I mean, that's just a fact. C is playing fantastically, but Jaedong and Flash are the 2 highest skill level players that we have ever had
in any game.
Brood War. Yeah, really
in any game,
anything.
honestly. Brood War is insanely hard. If you haven't played it, go queue it up, go into multiplayer, feel how mechanically difficult that is. The strategy is so in-depth. There are so many different maps, so many different play styles, so many different evolutions that we've had in the meta. And these two guys are basically rank 1 and rank 2 of all time.
Yes, they certainly are. And one of the most impressive things about this is this was the prehistory of esports is StarCraft 1. There were team houses for these guys, for 10 unbroken years, this was the #1 game with just unbelievably huge amounts of talented players playing all day, every day with coaching staffs, tons of money on the line, tons of fame and everything. And throughout that, we got to these two.
Yeah.
It's all of that, all the efforts of all Brood War players ever
all down.
Came to a pyramid, and at the top are Flash and Jaedong.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing.
And we're having them duke it out here tonight. I think a lot of people probably expecting Flash to be more dominant tonight than Jaedong, but Jaedong could certainly surprise us.
Yeah, you cannot count out the Tyrant. These guys, their rivalry is so close. It's within a game of each other or something like that. They've hit each other so many countless times because they're the only ones that can continually get so deep. They are so strong.
That's right.
And they just entered the stage. I mean, the crowd is going absolutely bananas.
Tell your friends to join us. Anybody who's maybe never even seen esports could probably appreciate what's going to be happening here tonight. This is the esport that truly started all esports. This is the esport that was the first to get on television regularly. It's still going strong. By the way, all these jobbers out here keep talking about which game's going to die. This game's not as big as it was this. Take a look at this and remember, your game can be immortal too. This game is still alive and strong. This game is basically the big bang of esports, and it's still moving, and now moving faster than ever before.
Dude, well, I guess that is what the Big Bang is, right? The universe continues to expand, and so does StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
I guess it pulsated down for a little bit with StarCraft 2 coming out, but you're very right. People were telling me this was a dead game in 2001. That's 16 years ago.
Yeah.
And it is climbing back up towards what its peaks were, and that is a crazy thing to be here and witness, and a happy thing to be a part of, Tasteless.
Absolutely. It is going to be a best of 5. The winner does go on to the finals to play against C. And definitely check that out as well. What day is that on Artosis?
That is Sunday. This Sunday, the 22nd. And that's at 5 p.m. KST. That's 2 hours previous to this. So just keep that in mind, guys. And it might be Saturday wherever you are because we're in the future, obviously, because we're the first country to have StarCraft 1 back on the TV. So it's clear that we're years, maybe decades ahead of the rest of the world here in Korea.
Oh, man, this guy's such a history between these two. Now, the TVZ meta has changed a little bit. It's now bio into a Vulture switch into full-on mech.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how Jaedong will fare in that. Jaedong had a lot more success in StarCraft 2 than Flash did, but Flash was very, very good.
Yeah.
But I believe it was Flash that switched back first.
Look at their records against each other here. It's just so crazy. 3 round of 8s. Then they hit MSL final 3 times in a row. And there's a StarLeague final for OSL. My God.
Crazy, man.
Oh, my God. You know, all I wanted growing up was for Dragon Ball Z to be real. Little did I know that Flash vs. Jaedong would become something that I would get to watch for so many years.
Yeah.
And it's twice as epic as when Vegeta and Goku actually come to blows, Tasteless.
This is so cool,
4
man.
times as epic as Gogeta against Boo. This is the ultimate thing. This is better than Sampras Agassi. This is better than Foreman Ali. This is better than Michael Jordan versus the rest of the NBA. Okay, this is the ultimate thing in the world for humans going against each other.
This is the #1 dueling esport, man. And really the hardest game ever made. It's the hardest game ever made.
Mechanically, there is nothing
that comes close. Nothing. I mean that when I'm not just saying that because it's the #1. I mean literally nothing really comes close in comparison.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's other games that require similar speed, of course, like Smash and StarCraft 2 and stuff. And I mean, there's a lot of games where you need to be super fast, just like these guys are. But like what these guys have to do at their keyboard, we actually have first-person streams on AfreecaTV, so you should go check that out. Sorry, I can't do the links right now. I'm casting the game, but if you see these guys play first person, like go play a couple games yourself and then watch them and be like, oh my God. If you're basically if you're not a pro, you can't even tell what they're doing.
We're going to go to the interview now and see what the thoughts of Flash and Jaedong are before we start this match.
안녕하세요. 서윤지입니다. 드디어 리쌍록입니다. 이 리쌍록인 4강 2경기에 출전하는 두 주인공 이영호 선수와 이재동
Now let's
선수와
meet our two
이야기
players.
나눠보겠습니다.
This is the semifinals, Flash and Jaedong. Hello.
네, 이재동 선수, 아니 이영호 선수. 이영호 선수. 정말 이 리쌍록을 보기 위해서 많은 분들이 이 자리에 지금 함께해주고 계세요.
네.
There's a huge crowd gathered here today to watch you play.
감회가 새로울 것 같은데 어떠세요?
Does it remind you of the past? How do you feel?
사실 이렇게 다시 한다는 것 자체만으로도 제가 제동이 형 인터뷰 봤는데
It feels awesome to play against Jaedong in the semifinals. It's like a dream come true to me.
진짜 이렇게 다시 만났다는 게 꿈만 같고요. 사실 스타2를 하고서 저도 은퇴를 하고 사실 스타1을 할지 몰랐고 제동이 형 또한
switching to StarCraft 2, I never thought I'd be back here in StarCraft 1.
인정하는 상대하고 이렇게
And I know Jaedong said the same thing to me. He never thought we'd be facing off in a semi-final match in a StarCraft 1 tournament.
말을 들어보면은 이런 무대를
I'm so happy we're meeting in the semifinals. It's such a big stage.
맞나요? 기다리셨나요? 이런 무대를?
물론 결승에서 만났으면 더 좋았겠지만
It would have been better if we met in the finals, I guess, but the semifinals is also a special place to me.
상대하고 잘 만났다고 생각해요.
네, 그럼요. 4강도 정말 높은 자리입니다. 이재동 선수에게 또 여쭤볼게요.
Now to Jaedong.
또 이영호 선수랑 마찬가지로 좀 이재동 선수를 보기 위해서 정말 많은 팬분들이 와주셨어요. 지금 추운
A lot of fans came here to see you.
기분이 어떠신가요?
The weather's cold outside. How do you feel that all these people came out of their way to come
긴장이
down
많이
here?
돼요. 그전까지
I'm nervous right now, to be honest.
네.
I wasn't nervous until the round of 8.
이렇게 많은 팬분들이
But
와서
today I
긴장을 한
definitely
걸까요?
feel some
아니면은
anxiety.
상대가 이영호 선수라서 긴장을 한 걸까요?
Is it because of the crowd or is it because of your opponent?
있고, 영호랑 게임을 안 했거든요, 제가 그동안.
It's been a long time since I played against Flash.
하게 되니까 벌써부터 좀 떨리고.
And we're playing in the semifinals in a big tournament in front of a huge crowd.
떨리는데 재미는 있을 것 같다.
It does make me
기대가
nervous, but
된다.
also it's exciting as
이영호
well.
선수는 최근 개인 방송에서도 저그전에 정말 강한 모습을 보여주고 계세요. 네,
On your
이렇게
stream, you seem very strong against
저그전에
Zergs right now.
자신만의 비결이 있다면 뭐가 있을까요?
Why are you so strong in this matchup?
약간 게임할 때 자신감 있게 게임하는데 그게 토스전
I just play with confidence.
보다는 저그전에 아무래도 매크로 싸움을 많이 하다 보니까 자신감 있게 게임하다 보면
And
계속 이득을 챙기고
I tend to play a macro game against the Zergs.
저그전에 제가 강점이 있는 것 같아요. 예.
I'm very confident in my macro.
에서 좀 이득을 보고
네.
또 그런 거에 자신감이 있기 때문에
네.
저그전이 자신이 있다. 이재동 선수는 이제 스타1에 복귀한 지 약 2달이에요, 지금. 본인이 생각하시기에 결승갈
It's been about 2 months since you've been back playing StarCraft 1. Are you as good as you once were?
솔직히 제가 그동안 경험이 많다 보니까 그 경험을 바탕으로 실력이
Even though it's been only 2 months, I've had a long time playing StarCraft 1.
스스로 좀 실력이 왜 잘했다.
I'd say it took me a pretty short time to get back into my proper form.
우승까지 욕심 내보려고.
Now that I'm in the semifinals,
이재동
I definitely think
선수는
I've got a good chance to win this
겸손한 것
entire tournament.
같은데 역시 폭군이에요. 할 말 다 하는. 네, 좋습니다. 이제 양 선수가 또 이제 최고의 라이벌이잖아요. 스타팬 여러분들이 꼽아주시는. 그러니까 서로를 어떻게
You guys are the
평가하는지도
biggest rivals in StarCraft.
물어보겠습니다. 이영호 선수가 평가하는 이재동 선수.
Flash, what are your thoughts on Jaedong as a player?
뭐 글쎄요. 뭐 다른 할 말 필요 없을 것 같고 뭐 e스포츠계 폭군이죠. 예.
No one can describe him. He's just the best Zerg there is.
예, 당연히 제가 뭐 이거는 하도 많이 얘기해가지고 제가 가장
I believe we put some pressure to have him use some words to describe him.
가장 인정하는
He's an
상대.
opponent that
이재동 선수는 이영호 선수를 어떤 선수라고
I respect the most.
생각하시나요?
가시죠, 갓.
오!
He says Flash is a god.
이재동 선수
The
입에서
mutual respect is touching.
The respect is
네.
real.
너무 그냥 말로 표현할 수가 없는 선수인 것 같아요. 그동안 제가 워낙 많이
It's hard for me to even
해봤지만
articulate
네.
how much I respect him.
더 이상 설명이 불필요한 것 같아요.
설명이 필요 없는, 말이 필요 없는 최고의 선수다. 네, 감사합니다.
He said
이제
you don't need any
끝으로 또,
explanation to describe Flash.
한 말씀 해야죠. 각오 한 말씀. 오늘 경기 어떻게 할 건지.
오늘 저도
Any final comments?
시청하시는 분들이 많이 오시고 또 오프도 이렇게 많이 와주셔가지고 너무 감사드리고
So there are a lot of
또
people
많이
watching this
가셨다고
match
들었어요.
online and
많이
offline.
찾아와서 오셨다가
네, 맞아요.
And even
너무
though there are a lot of disclaimer, because we actually have a cafe down the street we rented and filled that up as well. He wants to show that to all and wants great games, show great games to everybody that's watching live, watching live or online.
이영호
Barely got through that one.
It's their responsibility to show great games, basically.
Yes.
오늘 멋진 게임 했으면 좋겠습니다. 진짜로.
예, 감사합니다. 이재동 선수도
He said, "I hope we have a great match tonight."
네, 하고 싶은 말이요? 저도.
귀여워요, 정말.
She said he's cute.
네,
I
오늘
agree.
너무
Of course.
즐거운 것 같아요. 뭐 게임의 승자와 패자가 나뉘겠지만
I'm really relishing this moment right now.
즐기려고요, 저는.
Look, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. But I hope everybody has a lot of fun watching this and enjoys today.
축제다운 하루가 될 것 같네요. 정말 좋은 경기력 기대하겠습니다. 재밌는 경기력. 네, 이재동 선수랑 이영호 선수를 만나봤습니다. 오늘 이 선수는 ASL 결승전에 오르기 위해 연습을 정말 거듭했다고 합니다. 우리 모두의 기다림에 부응하는
She says these players have trained hard for this match.
지금까지 사연지였습니다.
Let's look forward to a great game tonight. All right, guys, we're going to go to a short intro video, and after that, we'll be ready to start game number 1, Flash versus J-Dog.
Silver can't save my soul. Riches aren't always gold. City lights won't make me whole. Only one thing can save me. They say that I'm too far gone. Every step I take feels so wrong. Caught up trying to
We are moments away from beginning game number 1, Flash versus J-Dong. If you're just now joining us, this is a best of 5, a fight to get to the finals of the ASL to face off against C.
And this is the perfect time for you to spread the word in any way that you possibly can about this match.
This may be the only time you're safe to tab out.
Yeah, I mean, this is something everyone should be watching. Everyone should see The fact that these two have hit heads once again in 2017 in the ASL round of 4 is unreal. One of them will go to the finals and possibly win yet another StarLeague. That, I'm getting chills saying that, Tasteless. How can that even be? How can that even be that we're going to add even more accolades to these guys?
Reality is stranger than fiction sometimes, Artosis. Brood War is back. And yeah, these two guys have met here in the round of 4. It's a tough one to predict. I know that the majority of people are leaning towards Flash, but you cannot doubt J-Dog.
No.
His tenacity is incredible.
It certainly is. Like, I mean, they're close to even overall, really. Like, Flash has the additional MSL over J-Dog, which he actually won over J-Dog, which is kind of funny. But, like, they're neck and neck, right? Like, because of each other, we don't really call either of them a bonjour that much, right? Like, it's not like the days of Oob or Nada or Box or Sager where it's like, well, this guy just won everything for a long time because they beat each other up so much.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing indeed. But, I mean, the games, I think, will speak for themselves, Tasteless. We know that Flash is in top form. Oh, God, that music.
Excellent, man. That's a classic from the earlier days in Brood War. By the way, guys, the current TVZ meta from 2016, which are pretty fresh here in 2017, the Terran will go generally into bio and then switch into mech from there in mid-game. So unlike a lot of the earlier days of Brood War where the Terran would either decide mech or decide bio and then stick to it, that has changed a little bit. I'm curious to see how J-Dog adapts to that play style. Well, the Zerg, if the Terran is doing that, the Zerg is very reliant on Defilers and a lot of, occasionally even drops with Ultralisks because the mech is happening later on. We have seen some Queen usage. I don't know what J-Dog's going to teach us tonight.
Yeah.
But this should be a very exciting but also educational TVZ.
Oh, it certainly will be. And the thing is, you're very right. Like, a lot of the meta has switched around quite a bit into bio into mech, but there's also still straight bio builds. There's also straight mech strategies, including a very powerful 2-base attack that Flash is quite good at. So it's hard to say exactly what he's going to bring out here against J-Dog tonight. The thing is, like, you almost have to take the meta out of the equation for a moment because these two are such powerful forces.
That's right.
That they are meta changers. Whatever they do is the meta.
Yeah.
And they have to use mind games on each other. They have to because they're both too strong. If you play into the other person what they're expecting, you're not going to win.
Guys, the year is 2017 and Brood War is back. Flash versus J-Dog. Game number 1. Artosis, this is esports necromancy.
Cause I've had enough.
Oh, Artosis.
Yes, Tasteless.
All right, let's do this. Game 1 is on. In the bottom left, in the red, our Terran player, Flash.
So funny, he has a West Point shirt on. They wish they had him as a graduate.
In the upper right, in the yellow, our Zerg player, J-Dog.
Would have been the greatest general ever to have gotten out of West Point.
Genghis Khan would have to accept the silver medal.
And to be honest, I mean, especially with ASL coming back, by the time that he retires, he's going to have more medals on his jacket than any general in the history of America.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting, by the way. I always find like little things like this interesting. Flash is wearing a T-shirt. J-Dog has on like 2 sweaters.
Now, there's a reason for that. Some professional gamers, obviously, pretty much nobody you meet wants it cold.
Only Julyzer.
Yeah, and
literally
and
the
Todd,
only one.
if you find that video of him, because he needs the air conditioner, the YouTube video. But generally speaking, you want it a little bit warm in the room. The APM required. You can't have cold hands, and have the same degree of dexterity. Now, J-Dog, you said he has 2 shirts on, so he actually
has an ASL jacket, a hoodie underneath, and it looks like a sweater underneath that. So he is like.
So he's actually staying really warm.
Yeah.
And some players actually do prefer it to be kind of hot.
Yeah. Like he might just sweat throughout the whole series, which is fine as long as your hands are warm. For anyone that hasn't been a pro gamer, it's like if you have cold hands, Unless you're July Zerg, you basically can't micro with it.
And to go off what you were saying there, remember, guys, you can't change the hotkeys in this.
Yeah.
So your hand is doing acrobatic tricks all across the keyboard.
Yeah.
That's why nothing comes close to this as far as mechanical difficulty goes. You have to hit so many different keys, with just your left hand on so many different parts of the keyboard. Not being able to move fast enough, or one misclick can cost you the game.
Oh man, I am so excited. We're only 2 minutes in, and I just feel every moment hype. Like, oh, the drone and the SCV passed. He kept going. I love it. Oh my god.
By the way, guys, we got cross spawns here. This is a 4-player map, and he's going to go 3 hatch before pool.
Yeah.
Now, it's not obviously a hatch at a third base, but going 3 hatch before pool, that could be a little bit risky because if the Terran were to bunker rush you, you'd be in trouble. Now, in this case, not going to happen, especially in cross spawns like this.
Well, the drone did see the SCV, and the way that the SCV was scouting towards the right told Jaedong enough that there's not proxy racks. You'll scout with the one making the proxy racks, and then proxy racks is, like, statistically, they shouldn't be down at the bottom, right? So it's just like a very smart thing that we see Jaedong doing here, and I mean, that's a little tiny edge.
Oh!
Totally
Gas steal
sick.
there. Now, that's not that common in this matchup.
Not so much.
That could have thrown Jaedong a little bit off rhythm, but that was pretty crazy. Now, granted, you could never do that if they went for a earlier pool, but in this circumstance, he did deny the gas, and that means that Jaedong has to rotate some more drones to the bottom now to start mining there. And when you go for 3 hatches, whether it's 2 hatch or 2 hatch pool, then hatch, or just 3 hatches first, your gas is delayed. So it's very important you get that gas up and running because Zerg really can't combat anything Terran has until they have layer tech. They need lurkers and or mutas.
And what you said, like, this isn't necessarily the most standard or common thing. This kind of harkens back to what we were talking about before. These guys are the absolute best, which means they have to consistently improvise against each other. You can't just sit here and be a macro bot. You can't just do build order X and kill your opponent when you're Flash versus Jaedong. And so we're going to see probably a lot of moves like this throughout the night where it's just like this little change, this little he's trying to get each other off balance, off their center, because that's how you're really going to pick up a victory when you're against your absolute rival of all time.
So the Lings have now chased out the SCV. Note the layer was made at the natural base. You tend to make the layer just wherever the SCV isn't, just to try to delay that. Good job there by him. He does take that out. Because even though they pretty much got it down to a T, even masking some of the timings exactly where they have to, there's a little bit of vagueness there for when something started, is pretty good. Now, Flash pushed out here. This is not him attempting to be aggressive as much as it is him trying to perhaps force a few more Lings to be produced.
Yeah, and he knows that there should be at least 1 Zergling on the way, so if he can catch any on the way down, that's actually fantastic. Just kill a scout. Can't really see what's going on because Flash is reacting well to seeing 2 hatcheries before pool. He's gotten both of his academy and his engineering bay off of just one barracks. So that allows his upgrades to go a lot faster, and that's the proper counter in this type of situation.
By the way, we have Jaedong going for the lurker tech here, which is a little bit less common than you would expect. You usually do see mutas brought out here, but this is definitely viable, and I don't know if Flash is really going to be expecting this.
Well, Flash probably will figure it out relatively quickly.
Right.
You want to be careful when you're going to build your comm stats because you do want to be able to scan and see what their tech is, but at the same time, you lose a lot of SCV build time there.
Yeah, in the early days of StarCraft, all players would make the comm stat the moment the academy finished, but it's been mathed out pretty well, and it's actually more viable to get a few more workers right away and then get that comm stat at the last second. And if you do see the Spire, you have to immediately throw down a ton of turrets. Now, the fact that he's not going for Mutalisks and going for lurkers, it will allow for Flash to go for more powerful building of Marines. That was not as articulate as I wanted it to be, guys. Sorry, guys. Basically, he's going to be able to pump out a lot more Marines more quickly. He can neglect making turrets in this case.
Well, this is what he's going to really need to do is be on the map with his bio. If the lurkers get right up and you're only hitting them from one angle, you're in trouble. You don't really have anywhere to run back against. So
I think he's going to go for a drop here. Just looking at the position of this Overlord at the bottom.
Could be.
I think he's going to ferry 2 lurkers up there, and I think he's going to do it over here at the center left as well.
Yeah,
okay,
looks like that definitely could be the case. He does have that Overlord in a very good position to do so. Now the bio's starting to move out.
Now this is kind of tricky. Oh, maybe he's just going to drop Lings up there.
Well, I think it might be Lings and Lurkers.
Yeah.
Just get them all in at once, and that just makes it much, much harder. The Lings kind of buffer for those Lurkers. A couple Lurkers more on both sides. Drops from 2 angles is going to be the strategy here from Jaedong.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Dude, he's on 2 bases, making Lurkers and a sunken at home. So he's just saying, I'm not going to let you break me with this push, and then I'm going to wreck both your mineral lines.
Now, the problem is if Flash pushes out like this and is unable to break the entrance here for Jaedong, he's not going to have most of his army here to go back and defend. The drop is about to commence. It is a slow Overlord coming up there. Also, got to be careful if Flash does micro completely perfectly. He might be able to gun down some of those Lurkers. Sometimes you get a Terran player who's just that good.
Yeah, that is a possibility.
All right, he should be safe with that angle. He might even try to cover up the Lurkers with the Overlord so that they can't be clicked on.
Now, this is going to send SCVs most likely to that natural, and he's going to be microing against these Lurkers, which means the Lurker drop in the natural that's going to land right now could do a ton of damage.
Here it is.
Oh, already
it's coming over here right now.
Ooh, Flash on top of this one at the natural, though, and that was a perfect stim and
Good
a perfect scan.
Okay, so he does keep that alive. Lurker's still hitting. The comp stat over here doesn't seem like Flash is able to breach. Oh, hold on. Jaedong moving out now.
Oh, he's going to surround the medics. That's a big deal right there. He gets all 3, which means the Marines are going to go down as well.
Jaedong is doing a brilliant job not going for the standard Mutotech. The Lurkers remain here. He's trying to remake the scanner. He might try to target that down again. Also, Jaedong will be ready if there is a scan that comes down. He may opt to unburrow and run back and try to burrow into a better position.
Yeah, that definitely is a possibility, but Flash is spreading his Marines around a lot. He's got to kill these off as soon as that scanner finishes.
He's actually hitting the eBay, which is really problematic for Terran.
Yeah, he definitely can't let that die.
Meanwhile, Jaedong trying to push to the front here. The scan does go down. He does take it out, though. And keep in mind, there is a Lurker push still coming over here towards the front of the Terran's base.
Well, he does have quite a bit of bio there. He loses that eBay, doesn't he? Yeah, he wasn't looking there for a second, but he lost the eBay.
Okay, that's actually pretty big.
I didn't see if he got the +1 attack. Hopefully we'll see. Yeah, he did get the +1 attack, so it's not the biggest deal in the whole world. It will slow down his next upgrade, but at least he did get that to finish. Very important indeed.
Now the Hive Tech is being rushed out here. Jaedong did have a delayed bottom right base here. Normally you get the third base up much more quickly, usually during the Mutotech. So Jaedong does have some catching up to do. If he can get Lurkers over to that position in the bottom right, he can block the Marines from coming back. Okay, he's laid a booby trap here.
Yeah, he has. This is how Jaedong plays. He thinks so far ahead.
Now, he might use hold position Lurkers. Okay, he's doing it. He's using it.
Oh,
he hasn't activated them just yet here. Oh!
Another huge move out of Jaedong. So many people today thinking that Flash was going to be able to take this one down, but Jaedong is showing that he has every mind game ready. He has so many strategies and tactics at his disposal. He's already on a hive, building his Nidus. He has Lurkers all over the place. This is looking really good for Jaedong at the moment.
By the way, Jaedong going for SK Terran style. He's just pumping out of all these barracks. He's getting a few tanks and making science vessels, and he'll probably remain on Marine Medic science vessel for the rest of the game. Just looking at how this is sizing up so far. Jaedong going to be taking a very late third base whenever he does take that, as he wants to try to power and bully the Zerg on the map.
Oh man, Jaedong getting ready for any drops. Just as a dropship comes out, he's already set up his Scourge and his Lings on the periphery of his bases, both of the third and the main. So he's completely ready for drops. His front is secure. He's got the Defiler Mound. He's got the Niduses. Jaedong is doing everything beautifully.
Yeah, he's got all the pieces he needs. Oh my God, I think we just got the tail end of that. I don't know how much was actually killed off back there. But yeah, there were some Marines shaved off. Now, he is also moving around the map. He knows there might be a dropship timing coming out here. If he can intercept that, that would be huge. What Terran wants to do is drop possibly into the main here and then try to draw some of the Lurkers and Lings back and then break the front. Or he might even do the elevator strat where he transports his army up into the Zerg's main. But I think Jaedong is basically prepared for that.
Yeah, he's super prepared for everything. I'm saying a dropship being loaded up, but he's already got anti-dropship in both locations, so this should not be able to work. Starting to move over, bringing his bio as well with it to try to prevent any Scourge from gunning this down. But he's got the Lings there to make sure he can.
Okay, he's going to try to beat out the Scourge!
Oh, another big moment there for Jaedong. Flash flying over with another dropship, but already the Scourge ready here, dropping on top of the Lurkers. That is not going to work out very well. The Lings chasing the Scourge as well.
Oh my God, I think Flash is falling apart in this game. The Marines at the front have been taken out as well, and Jaedong is securing a fourth base at the natural of the bottom right.
Oh, this is absolutely crazy right now. Flash has taken a beating on his economy. Every dropship getting sniped, getting 0 damage done onto Jaedong, who has his full tech up and running.
Another trap here, but it doesn't look like Jaedong has had the time to activate that. Just so you know, guys, you can take one Overlord and grab lurkers, put them in the same control group, hit, hold position, and the lurkers will not attack until you tell them to, and it is legal in tournaments.
All right, well, this is a great move by Flash. He has come in with another dropship. Those Scourge were not replaced. Jaedong was not on top of this, but a lot of units already coming back. A Plague, a beautiful choice right here to make sure that he can clean this up quite quickly. Good scan, though, by Flash.
Nice control. He's not done. He's still pushing. More drops coming in. It's very important that Jaedong weathers the storm right now because Terran's still on 2-base powering. If Jaedong gets up to his fourth and doesn't lose too many drones, he's going to be in fantastic shape.
A great drop here behind and actually killing off quite a few drones. The Dark Storm does
that's so funny. He just Dark Swarms the workers.
Going to protect those from being picked off anymore, but Jaedong has taken a fourth, and he's got so much right now.
We know that there are some people who haven't watched competitive Brood War. That orange cloud that is cast over...
Exactly! And he will end up getting it as well. Ling's already here to clean up those Marines. Non-stop dropship harassment out of Flash. He really wants to get something done, but it just doesn't seem like any of this is working out.
Because Flash is dropping so much, he doesn't have much muscle with his main army. He's basically trying to do these little guerrilla attacks throughout the map, but it's not paying off. Also, his science vessel count is like really low for what it could have been in this game.
Going for the Nidus, a very popular move, picking that off so he can't reinforce down here, but Flash doesn't have any more army to really capitalize upon this, you know? Like, if he had an army out front, this might be a very powerful move, but as is, you're just kind of going to rebuild the Nidus.
Yeah. That may mean that we'll have one more drop come down here on the bottom right just because that Nidus was picked off. Flash is doing as much as he can. Now, because Terran stayed on 2 bases for so long, this is eventually going to slow down until he does take his third. And the third base, by the way, for Terran is not easy to hold on this map.
No, very tough, especially when you've been in such a bad position all game. If Flash ever stops being aggressive in this game, Jaedong is just going to roll in and get him. You know, like, he has to keep Jaedong as busy as possible, force him into these defensive plays and try to pull him apart.
I mean, Jaedong is just everywhere, man. You can even see, look, he catches this one as well. Will the Marines be able to unload and gun down the Scourge in time? It doesn't look like they will.
He does get out a couple Vultures, but plenty of Lings are here to clean up absolutely everything. No damage done once again.
So we have the third base for Flash. Now, in the center left, with 4 bases with Vespian gas, he does have the income to start funding Ultralisks. So that's going to be another big threat here for Flash as he's trying to get this. And by the way, just an indicator of how desperate Flash is. He's actually building that at this location. And it looks like it should be canceled here if those Lings get up in time.
Ooh, he's trying to set up some bio to really save that, and he might be able to do so. Yeah, it looks like he will, so he can continue to build that command center, but Flash doesn't really have a whole lot to speak of right now. Up comes some lurkers with a Defiler, and he just has to back up.
Now, if he does force a cancel over there in the center left, Flash is going to be very hard-pressed to win this game, and it looks like that might happen right now.
Oh, that's such a big deal. Jaedong going to be able to cancel it, and a Science Vessel falls as well. Another drop into this main base. He is going to take down the Nidus, but not before some Lings come out. And with all these hatches down here, a third hatch on the way and one in the natural, there's just no way that these drops are going to end up doing much.
Yeah, we have another drop coming in now, but already the surface area is not viable to land Marines on because you'll lose everything as it comes out. More Scourge coming down here. This is some of the best anti-dropship play from a Zerg player I have ever seen. And another drop goes down.
Jaedong is everywhere, seeing every little move. Flash peeks in for a millisecond, turns around, and Jaedong is on top of it.
Now, if Flash does not get a third base up, he will have all of his resources dried up very quickly, and that will result in a loss. There's not much else he can do. In fact, he's taking the upper left main in the hopes that Zerg simply won't scout there because that is such an obscure location for a Terran to try to take, because if that area is spotted at any point in time in this game, basically, there's nothing that Terran can do to stop Zerg from wiping it out.
No, very, very true. He's got to take a lot of risks right now, and he is switching into some Vultures. The thing is, he doesn't have that many factories because his economy is really not all that strong, so he has to stay with a little bit of bio still. You see him still producing Marines, and on top of everything, he needs a lot of really good Spider Mine connections.
Okay, he sees now the SCVs being transferred up to the north. Jaedong also with a push, it looks like coming down here from the bottom. He wants to try to counter in here. If he can get on top of the production facilities for Terran, that would be very problematic.
Yeah, just dark storming that front there is going to be very tough to get through. He does have some vultures here laying mines. The Ling's trying to clear all that out for the lurkers to run up and burrow, and vultures are not going to deal with this well.
GG! Jaedong takes game number 1 with some brilliant lurker play into beautiful deflections from the drop chip harass from Flash.
Man, that was just awesome play out of
Jaedong is
Jaedong.
so sick.
That drop in the main base killed a lot of SCVs. And you know what? I love that he set up a second drop in the natural to catch SCVs going there, but Flash was on top of that. Unfortunately for him, though, Jaedong's timing on his Scourge were perfect. If the drop Flash did had gotten off, that was going to get him right back into this game, but was unable to.
Flash a bit shaken after that incredible play from Jaedong. Jaedong not doing any kind of 2-base muta or 3-hatch muta with Ling out there into a later lurker tech. He went for that that drop early, delayed Flash, and he was just shutting Flash down everywhere. And by the way, Flash had, I actually lost count of how many drop chips were out on the map. In that game, I want to say it was at least 10 that were picked off.
It could have been. He was basically nonstop.
It was kind of crazy.
We only saw 2 science vessels the entire game. That's how desperate he was. And the thing is, you do need the science vessels if you're going to stay on bio. Yeah. It's very, very important.
The reason why you need that science vessel against the Zerg is you have to be able to irradiate the Defiler.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Defiler is just too strong. Anyways, guys, we're going to take a short break. Now's a good opportunity to tell your friends to join us here at the ASL. We'll be right back.
로드 모바일이라고 들어보셨습니까? 다른 사람들이랑 막 싸울 수도 있어요. 우리끼리 막 협동해가지고 싸울 수도 있어요. 서로 막 도와주고 식인 물고기 쩔었다 이거. 이렇게 스킬도 쓸 수 있어요. 싸울 수 있어. 이게 핸드폰 게임이야? 와, 뭐 언제까지 줘? 제발! 아, 내가 훨씬 많아 이거. 공격 도대체 어디서 나오는 거야 얘네들? 불버전 3이 낫지 않습니까? 지금 플레이스토어에서 설치하세요.
부산지도 아닙니까 이거? 와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지 네. 취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠줄 수 있어요.
아, 자갈시장 도쿄
도착했어요. 자갈시장. 오우, 자 나오세요. 자 가면서 나오시고 2시간. 야, 이겼다. 이번에 이겼어. 그러면 어서 바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단. 클래스 있다면 4번. 아, 좋아요. 타이페이죠, 타이페이. 광안리?
괌이다.
괌. 야, 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요, 내장. 오.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 그거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
Welcome back to the ASL. Jaedong is up with a 1-0 lead against Flash in this best-of-5 fight to get to the ASL finals.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people are actually predicting a 3-0 for Flash.
Yeah.
Because they're dumb and they don't know anything about Brood War. But, you know, this is where we are. It's the best two players, the craziest rivalry. Jaedong would not let us down with a score like that. Now Flash has to look at this a little bit differently, though, doesn't he? Because Jaedong just played so well right there. Who knows? Maybe a Jaedong 3-0. No.
The thing is, Jaedong was so dominant from the very early part of that game all the way to the end. I mean, Flash basically never got an operational third base up.
Yeah, he wrecked him in every way. The combination of the double lurker drop, the hold position lurkers, the timing of that third base, the Scourge in position with the Lings ready, that's so important to have those at the right time. He predicted everything that Flash was going to do and countered it.
We saw countless dropships get shut down. That was a situation where Flash was then forced, I believe it was only 2 science vessels that entire game. And as the game goes on further and further, if you played like Flash did in that last game and failed with the drops like he did, there's really no way you can combat Dark Swarm because you need enough science vessels to irradiate the Defilers. Otherwise, there's no way to effectively get to the Defilers because they're going to be covered by Lings and Lurkers anyways.
Yeah, the thing is, what Flash did was a great call. This is what he should do, and it probably would have beaten a lot of Zergs even after he lost those SCVs. But like, you can't go into straight macro after that, right? When Jaedong's already got the advantage, you go into straight macro, then he's like, okay, I have an edge in a straight macro game. So you're trying to get a little bit sneaky. You're trying to get in there with multiple dropships, and when Jaedong deflects it all, what can you do but go on to game number 2?
Let's see if Flash mixes it up here in game 2. If Jaedong stays on this lurker tech. He did go 3 hatch in game 1, 3 hatch before pool, not a 3rd hatch though in an expansion. Yeah, let's just see what these guys are going to try out this time around. There are plenty of cheeses that both races can do, or plenty of timing attacks so they can try to wipe out the other side. I don't know if we're going to have Flash Bunker Rush in this series or not. He's not really known for doing that, but obviously if he did it, he'd be quite good at it, and it could win the game.
Like, he's definitely very strong at cheese. He kind of opened his career a little bit cheesy, but I don't think he'll bunker rush just because it's like if there's someone that's not going to die to that, it's Jaedong, right? And like if he just predicts you're going to do that in hard counters, you're like, oh, okay, I guess I lose this game.
We're going to be hopping into game 2 shortly here. I'm not sure if one of our players is on a restroom break or not, but do get out there and tell your friends. This is so cool. Join us at the ASL. What a time to be alive. We have these two guys back again, duking it out. So much is on the line for these two.
Yeah, man. People are absolutely hyped. We have this venue completely full. We have a venue down the street completely full. Turns out the internet is almost completely full as well.
Yeah.
There's people trying to log on to their AOL online, and they're like, oh, I can't get on. It says that Flash vs. Jaedong is filled up the internet.
Yeah. Man. Okay, guys, it's the first of 3 wins. Flash is certainly capable of coming back. Our next map is going to be on Circuit Breakers.
Right.
Let's see how they do. So this is the cafe that Afreeca rented out because our studio was filled up.
Look at that. Crazy. This is just down the street, guys. The people were lined up there for hours beforehand.
When you look at that, you got to think that that's still not big enough.
No.
What happens if we end up having to rent out every coffee shop in the world? Because we just don't have enough room.
That would be a lot of coffee shops.
It would be a lot of coffee shops.
And that would be a lot of disappointed middle-aged women looking for coffees,
That's
man.
right.
They're like, oh, my gosh, this is on everywhere.
She'd show up with her Apple laptop, you know.
She wants to go into Starbucks and have a latte and split a donut.
Yeah.
Not happening. You better become an esports fan pretty quickly.
That's right.
Not hard, though, with a match like this. Tastes in a game number 1 like that. Magnificent play out of Jaedong. But do not worry, do not fret. Flash is going to show us some serious strength going forward as well.
I'm really pleased to see that Jaedong played so well in that game because, like we were saying, a lot of the internet was leaning towards Flash here. And for Jaedong to show such a dominant game number 1, it means this should and could still be very, very close. But who knows, man? Jaedong might just take this whole thing 3-0. I don't think that's going to happen, but expect anything.
Well, I got to say, Jaedong, just like last week against Stork, has that look on his face from when he was a top-tier pro. He has the angriest look. He looked disappointed after his victory against Flash. This guy, there is no one with more focus. He is a laser.
Oh, it looks like we're ready. All right, we're going to go into this. Get ready, guys, for game number 2. Flash versus Jaedong in a fight to go on to the finals of the ASL.
'Cause I've had enough.
In the bottom right, in the white, our Terran player, he is Flash. Kind of a grimace on his face. In the upper left, in the blue, our Zerg player winning game number 1, Jaedong.
Pure hatred on his face.
Yeah.
Contempt for his opponent almost. Nothing but respect, but still.
Yeah, once you get in the
him.
game, you got to kill him.
Yeah. It's a brutal game, StarCraft.
Okay, let's see what the openers are going to be for these two players. Flash has made a name for himself by being the most consistent, solid Terran player, specifically in late game.
Yeah,
he's very good in early game too, but he basically he deflects almost every attack that another race can throw at him, and by the end of the game, he's way bigger, way faster, way stronger.
He will block everything you do with the minimum amount of units that he needs to block it, which gives him the maximum amount of units in the late game. It's this crazy tightrope walk that he's almost perfect at. But that's where Jaedong comes in. This guy is a Zerg of a different color. I mean, look at all the hold position lurkers. Look at the sneaky drops he was doing. And the thing is, he's backing this up with the best micro in the business and the best macro in the business. So, like, the war of these two, oh, my, oh. Jesus. Oh, my God.
Okay, so we have a hatchery first, no spawning pool just yet. We do have a barracks being made on the high ground. We're still waiting to see, will it just be 3 hatches before spawning pool?
I don't know, man. It's so hard to say because their mind games are so good. Even if we did predict how they were going to open, it would be by chance because they're randomizing enough that each other can't predict it, and they're the smartest players ever to have lived. So here we are.
You see that Overlord pull? He saw the SCV coming. He's actually hiding where the Overlord is.
So sick.
Because a solid Broodor player like either of these two can see a scouting SCV or Overlord and immediately know the spawn of their opponent. So he pulls that back just for a second, and he'll make that Overlord beeline now to the next starting location.
In fact, that's such a big part of scouting in StarCraft 1. StarCraft 1 is a lot of 4-player maps.
Yeah.
And you would actually scout for Overlords, and there was a meta of Overlord movement to prevent Protoss and Terrans and even Zergs from seeing these Overlords.
Okay, 3 hatch. We don't have a. Oh, no, sorry, we do have a spawning pool here. So he went 2 hatch into pool into 3rd hatch into extractor.
And Flash just going to go ahead, take his command center, and we'll see how quickly he gets his eBay and his academy up. You know, in the previous game when it was against just 3 hatches before pool, you could easily get them right away. Will he go for that again? Producing Marines non-stop? Wouldn't be too surprised to see it, especially considering this SCV is taking note of how many Zerglings are hatching, which is so far 0.
So Flash with a pretty modest expand over here. Well, nothing really too greedy about it. And I don't really foresee Jaedong trying to punish this immediately. But then again, you know, never count Jaedong out of anything. Part of the ways he's been able to take Flash on is by being a little bit, doing a lot of unexpected maneuvers. Because I think the toughest thing to do would be to just beat Jaedong in a very, or rather beat Flash in a very standard, straight-up Brood War game.
Well, you have to do something special to beat him because he's the best Terran ever, right?
Yeah.
Just like Flash has to do something special to beat Jaedong. It's just different types of special, like hold position lurkers, drops, stuff like that. Like, you got to put a little bit of icing on top of the cake, you know?
Looks like the SCV is going to come in.
Oh,
he's going to see the layer.
That's really good.
He should know there was a layer already coming, but just seeing that is quite helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a very, I mean, he basically knows exactly when it started.
He's really good with this SCV micro. This should have been killed a long time ago, but he is just outmaneuvering everything.
Yeah. And if Jaedong, it's so good to keep that alive, because if Jaedong wanted to do something like a mass Ling attack, he can't do it. Like, if the SCV sees extra Lings popping, he just makes defense against that, and suddenly you have less drones than you should have.
Yeah, exactly. Second gas is now done. He's going to go for the Hydra tech again here. I guess this is a similar situation to game one. They are in cross spots here on a big map.
Yeah.
This map very open in the middle. There's definitely a lot of traps you can lay for the Terran player. Now, I would be surprised if he goes for the same drop again, just because I think that would be a little bit too expected.
No, I think that Flash will be ready for that type of thing. You can do, there's little things you can do, like put a depot on the edge of your base, and then when you see it coming in, it's like, okay, you bought Overlord drop, and now I get 2 free lurkers, basically, and suddenly you're way ahead.
Especially if you get lurkers early on. The first few lurkers in a ZVT are so precious. If you drop 2 or 3 of them immediately and don't take out a lot of SCVs or an entire line or 2 of Marines, then Terran has way more dominance on the map. It is a serious threat.
We just saw in that natural some building placements and an SCV in front of those Marines. The way he's setting that, like, see that right there? You cannot break that with Lings. Like, no matter how many Lings Jaedong would have made since that SCV died, Flash would be fine right now. Just kind of adding in a little bit extra defense, kind of a nod towards the unpredictability of Jaedong's aggression.
Okay, he's sending these 4 Hydras out, soon to be lurkers as well. Let's see where he morphs them, what he wants to do. I do want to highlight this again because I know that there are people who are watching this who have never seen a competitive Brood War game. There is a trick called hold position lurkers where you grab the lurkers, put them in a control group with an Overlord, and hit hold position. The lurkers will not attack until you tell them to. And Zergs use this to abuse Terrans and keep them off the map until they have a science vessel, but some Terrans will still try to push out in the hopes they can pressure the other player.
Now, this is important. He's building a bunker up front. It looks like he's kind of feeling what's going on right now.
Yeah.
You need bunkers out in front of your command center if you're going to hold on against a big lurker push, which is what we see here. There's a lot of Lings. There's quite a few lurkers being morphed. And if you don't have bunkers against that, you can just die. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. He's actually going past. Now, this could be really bad because he could just run right by this. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah,
he's actually going to be able to get around. And there's fire bats here. That's not going to help against lurkers.
Well, it helps against the Lings a little bit.
He's going to the main
running up right now.
No, he burrows right down here.
Oh, he's burrowing right on the bunkers, though. That could be a big problem coming out. The SCV's coming for the flank. A spread of the Marines as well. And he is going to be able to clear these lurkers with 1 more scan.
More lurkers and Lings are coming down now. A bit of a surprising play there for Jaedong. I thought he was going to try to run up on the ramp.
Oh, man, even more is coming right now. He is trying to run up that ramp. 1 lurker making its way in, but it does get picked off the other as well. And that is going to be a complete hold. That is a huge amount of units dead from Jaedong.
Big disaster there from Jaedong. If you can get up on the ramp, putting 2 lurkers there and then putting 2 more lurkers where they're mining from their SCVs can pretty much end a game. It's too difficult to run up a ramp with Marines since 2 lurker shots are going to wipe everything out.
Yeah.
But he wasn't able to quite get in that position. He had to burrow there, but he was under the cover of the bunkers. And so that was easily handled by Flash. Now Jaedong without very much presence on the map. Flash is able to push out now and try to put some pressure on. I don't know exactly how Jaedong can hold a third base, especially if these Marines can get over there to the bottom left location.
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy that Jaedong even tried that. That was so over-aggressive, but look at this. Flash actually going to catch some lurkers as they're trying to burrow. Lings coming in for the flank boat. 2 fire bats. You will easily clear those.
He's going to try to run. It's a race to the ramp right now. The lurkers have to get onto the high ground.
Oh, man, it looks like at least 1 will get up there. 1 Marine blocking. Do you see this? Are you watching this game? That
he
1
actually
Marine
body blocked the lurker.
Yeah. Oh, my God. To block those 2 lurkers, and now he just breaks this and gets to third base. Flash is crushing him. Oh, man.
Man, that was some terrifying early game there from Flash. Shuts down everything Jaedong has. Gets to the third base. Check and mate. Yeah. We're going into game number 3, folks.
Okay, so what really went wrong in that early game for Jaedong, that 1 big attack with the lurkers, with the Lings. Flash had a couple fire bats, which helped out against the Lings a bit. He ran up, he couldn't quite get up the ramp, and then he burrowed. Yeah. Now, a lesser Terran might have pulled all his SCVs from his natural to repair those bunkers to make sure he clears the lurkers. Instead, he just pulled a few, stemmed from the high ground and his force that was out front, and made an arc around those lurkers. And that just crushed Jaedong's army. It was a perfect defense from Flash, and he made Jaedong really look foolish for even trying that attack.
Jaeyoung with a little bit more traditional ZVT, trying to come in and do a bust there. That was handled so well. A lot of that did come down, not really to as much to the last 3 lurkers, but that big attack that happened at the front. A flash of space where Jaeyoung burrowed right there. It wasn't enough.
No. That was very much flash one-sided. I also love, like, he stemmed and got 1 Marine ahead. The thing is, again, a lesser Terran might have started hitting the lurkers and, like, somewhat stutter stepping forward. He just stemmed and ran with the lurkers to keep up so that his 1 Marine could body block 2 so they couldn't get to the high ground all the way and crush them because of that. Like, forcing Jaeyoung to GG.
Guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, game number 3, Flash versus Jaeyoung at the ASL.
Look how it burns. Tell me, do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse? Tell me, do you even know? Do you even know? Do you even know?
마음이 가는 대로 즐겁고 신나게 쓰자. 캠퍼스 시리즈.
클래시를 BJ 팀매치로 인사를 드립니다. 되게 운이 좋은 것 같아요, 항상.
밤새 연습하고 지금 올라왔어요.
메가민이
이거 도겸이 못 살리네. 감사합니다.
땀 흘렸습니다.
자, 이걸 어떻게?
세레모니. 힘이 가져다주는 힘이 어느 정도까지 지켜보겠고요.
부캐라고 말씀드릴 수 있죠.
대단한 역전극입니다. 도겸 팀입니다.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개의 시청자 여러분들이 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요. 도쿄, 넌 내 거야, 짱! 4번.
네,
오케이! 정답입니다! 아, 예! 군도 좋아, 군도. 화물 뺏겼다. 가자.
저희 입수하러 갈게요, 저희는.
그런데 스노우의 밤에는 가장 좋은 기능 중에 하나가 실시간으로 적용되는 아이템. 맞디? 스노우의 기능이 어마무시하죠, 진짜로? 원반입니다. 로모디. 저한테 채팅으로 보내주시면 치킨 5마리를 뿌리겠습니다, 시청자분들. 라이조바 상해요. 급식이야? 와, 센스!
우리 차단에 초청했다고.
실시간으로 친구들이랑 가족들이랑 이제 사진 보내주고 같이 함께 꾸미면 더욱더 이쁜 스노우의
댄스 위드 와인 결선 무대를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스,
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요, 꼭.
1등은요 축하합니다, 2SC
축하드립니다.
와우.
Welcome back to the ASL. We're going into Game 3. It's tied up 1-1 so far. By Game 5 or 4, we're going to be crowning the winner, and he will go on to face off against C.
How was that? How was that for an intro? That was so good. I'm so glad.
I'm like, we can't end it at Game 3 because, see, that wouldn't be 3 wins yet.
Yeah. No, that was.
And if we ended it somehow at Game 2, it wouldn't be a best of 5.
Great analysis. Great intro. You are truly.
I'm sure you guys are glad I'm here.
Oh my God.
All right. It's pretty neck and neck so far. One dominating game from Jadong, then Flash turning that around in Game 2.
Flash is starting to get twitchy too, man. We really are in the past. Jadong looks pissed. Flash's eyes are twitching. Okay, those 2 games were warm-ups, guys, just so you know. These 2 are really entering the mode right now. They are getting it going. Like, this is, oh my God, it's so hype. The hype levels are too much. I have so much blood pressure right now from this match. I'm like a horn toad. I'm going to squirt blood out of my eyes when they do a good draw.
Oh my God. Flash is requesting we start this game. Guess we can't say no to that.
You have
to get out there, guys. This is what this is going to be easily one of the best, if not the best, things of the entire year for esports here. These 2 guys, so old school, the 2 best players in Brood War facing off yet again in 2017. This game is now, I believe, 18 years old, right? 19 years old?
That's even older than you.
Old enough to die for its country. Not old enough to buy a beer, though, if you're in America. Anyways, guys, get ready. Game number 3 is loading up. Flash versus Jadong in the round of 4 of the ASL.
'Cause I've had enough.
All right, in the bottom left, in the yellow, our Terran player, Flash. And in the center right, in the red, our Zerg player, Jadong.
Focus is real, tied up 1-1. Down to a best of 3 here, Tasteless. 3-player map as well. What does it all mean? Guys, spread the word. This is so hype. This is so crazy.
So unreal that we're here casting this.
It's
I think I got
so unreal.
I got StarCraft Brood War when I was like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Now 32.
Yeah.
Casting this.
It's wild.
Yeah. The game that made us in the men we are today, Artosis.
Quite literally. The reason why I'm so weird is because I did nothing but play StarCraft during my formative years.
That's right.
Oh, man. Nothing.
But
I would never
pick the
trade
right
it for the world.
This is a manly game, Artosis. Guys, you play one game of Brood War, you're going to grow some hair on your chest. That's a fact.
Oh, man. Cannot wait to see what these guys are going to pull off. This is our newest map in the pool, so they have the least experience on it.
So far, Barracks over here, not far from the ramp. In case you're wondering, because you've seen other Brood War games or probably older Brood War games in that case, or some StarCraft 2 games, why don't they wall in? You start out with less workers in Brood War. So if you're going to have your worker travel out and make a depot, for instance, you're actually losing a lot of minerals because of how low the worker count is at the start.
Yeah.
Also, Wallen not as helpful against Lings unless you get something perfectly tight.
That's true. Like, if you have 2 depots next to each other, Lings can walk through there. On the other hand, if you have a depot and an academy randomly, which are the same size, Lings cannot get through there.
Yeah.
Oh, Brood War, 18-year-old game. All right.
So it's hatchery into spawning pool. So no 3 hatches before pool like we saw in Game 1. Drone coming up now, beginning to harass that SCV. And now you can actually, like, hit the SCV with a range. Yeah, if you micro
the drone
this just
has
right.
slightly more range than an SCV. SCV range is like -1, but it doesn't count as melee, so you can't kill things under Darkstorm. It's really cool. But yeah, it's kind of funny to watch like very top pros micro the workers, because this is like a mini game in and of itself where you actually can gain advantages.
So the pathing is not. Oh, nice! Almost got that denied.
Yeah.
Pathing is not that clean in Brood War, which actually is a good thing, because you can outmaneuver somebody if you just micro a little bit better.
Yeah.
The units don't make a perfect beeline to whatever their target destination is. They have to follow a grid in a way.
Yeah, it's a little bit funky watching them move around, but you know, if you play all day, every day, you're going to be able to micro these through those situations, generally speaking.
Yeah.
We do see them kind of abusing the AI against each other a little bit, stopping on top of each other, and you know, kiting a little bit with a worker against another worker, trying to prevent a drone from making a hatch. He did miss that just slightly, but moves like that, I mean, you slow it down a few seconds, and suddenly you've denied a larva.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. That's actually a big deal. You deny a larva, that's 2 less circlings right there.
Yeah. Terran players got to be careful. Even though the SCV starts out with more HP than probes and drones, every time it gets hit, it's not going to heal. So a lot of times, any extra punches you can get off on that SCV is going to be helpful, because later on you want to try to trap it and take it out, so that you can then hide what your tech is going to be.
Now look at this move out of these Marines. The SCV staying alive for so long, keeping the Lings up there. He can go in, maybe snipe a drone here, which is huge.
I think he's going to go for, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's really big. And the thing is, Jaedong should only have 4 Lings right now. He runs away immediately because Jaedong just reacted so quickly. Like, you don't want to overcommit. If you lose these Marines, you'd be in trouble.
He's got to be careful, because if these Lings aren't all together, you can micro these Marines really effectively. Oh, really nice control here. It looks like there's still 1 Marine.
The drone coming in for 2 kills. Now, this shows how good Jaedong is. He looked at that, he said, I need a drone in here to kill all the Marines.
Yeah.
Which is exactly perfectly what he needed.
It's so funny because
it's stupid how good they are.
It's not just like all the drones. It's just one he brings out the exact right amount, takes it out, and then goes right back to working on his economy. By the way, the fact that he lost a number of Marines like that is going to make mutas a little bit more scary here. Terran really needs to pull a lot of Marines.
Dude, oh man. Like, just watching these two play, to put this into perspective, these guys are better at this than anyone is at anything. Okay?
Yes.
Like, there are people who do open heart surgeries and save lives every day, and they don't have the precision of that drone coming out to kill the 2 SCVs.
By the way, he spotted the Spire. He spotted the Spire.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Considering that Jaedong went for Lurkers 2 games in a row, hiding that is huge. Ling's now going to come up. Oh, damages that medic.
Yeah, if he can kill a medic, that's a big
huge.
deal.
And he does not. Nice save there. Yeah, losing 1 medic like that is really bad. You need a certain number of medics so that you can heal all the different Marines. And that was a nice attempt there by Jaedong, but Flash did shut it down. He's making the 2 Sucket colonies here over at the front, and a number of Lings. There are 2 fire bats here to stop a counterattack. He may also bring that and meet up with the rest of his army. It's not uncommon to get 2 fire bats when you're doing a push like this, because if they do just mass Lings, you can get surrounded and lose.
Yeah, but if you have 2 fire bats in there, you will wreck someone who massed the Lings as well.
Right.
So,
and we did see Jaedong actually has massed some Lings already.
Yeah, he has a very decent amount. Now, Flash has to sit back. If he loses this army that he has right now, he will lose the game. Muta's on the way. You guys are about to witness the greatest Mutalisk micro in the world. This is something where Zergs would spend hours on a single-player map practicing it, because players like July, Zerg, and Jaedong showed the type of power you can have if you do that.
And by the way, guys, what Artos just said is not an exaggeration. You had to get so good at controlling the mutas, and the better you were at controlling it and diving in, doing damage, and then pulling back out, it's insane how much damage you can do to a Terran player. And especially in this case, with some of those Marines being eliminated early on, this is going to be a little bit tough here for Flash.
This is going to be awesome, though. Look, he's got good missile turret spreads, 2 in each location. Very well done. Getting them finished just in the nick of time before the mutas get there. He's got him over his production. He's got him in his natural. And he's got zoning ones below the production ones to protect the main mineral line. This is perfect turret placement from Flash.
If Jaedong overextended there, he could have ended up boxing his own mutas inside of his base and losing them. Definitely not something he can afford to do. We should be seeing the 3rd base coming up here now. Yeah, there's the drone now moving out to try to expand here. Now, these mutas
there's about 11 of them in this control group with one Overlord, and he puts the one Overlord in there because it makes the Mutas bunch up even more.
Okay, the Muta's starting to get a little bit of harassment done. He's trying to keep Flash back. If Flash can really move out on the map and Jaedong can't slow him down, he's going to be in trouble because he needs time to transition into Lurker Tech from here and protect his third and natural.
Okay, he does take out one turret. Now he can start to try to hit these Marines.
Ooh, some very good micro coming down so far. Flash loading up that bunker, but Flash is moving across the map, right? So this is a little bit scary for Jaedong, and in fact, he is going to run over with these Mutas, and hopefully, for his sake, slow Flash down.
He's got to be careful not to fly over those. I think he might end up doing just that. He pulls away. One Muta gun down. Now with the fire bats in here, Ling, oh my God!
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, Lings are not going to fare well against this clump of Marines and Firebats, and that's a cool place that he's expanding to.
You know, he's staying on Mutas so long, he's decided to just hide this third base as opposed to take a normal one and put Lurkers there. So that's kind of interesting. That's a really hard place to scout. It takes a long time to scout all the bases in a Terran versus Zerg, or just in StarCraft 1 in general.
And you got to keep in mind, guys, he's saving a lot of his scans because he's afraid of Lurkers. The starport was actually pretty late. So the odds of Terran scanning that specific base in the upper left, pretty low.
Now, notice this. Jaedong keeps flying around the army. He's trying to bait stims out to drain medic energy. That's a really great move. And look at that. He comes in. Flash doesn't know what angle the Mutas are going to fly in from. They're just so fast. Really the most mobile units in all of StarCraft.
And keep in mind, as the army moves out, they tend to stretch out into a line. So if you can get that right, the proper angle to hit those Marines, you can shave off those weaker groups down there.
Now look at these Lings. He actually just scanned here to see if there was going to be a base. That would be a pretty good place for Jaedong to expand to because it would secure a fourth later on. He's moving up, and he's actually going to find a couple Overlords. This is a great pickoff for Flash.
These are actually the Overlords that were in the control group for the Mutas.
Yeah, so notice he has two more in the top right. These ones just went a little bit far down.
So he still has these Lings out here. He wants to try to catch any reinforcements, but Flash has his rally point set down here. So it's just at the entrance of his base. He does spot the timing of the starport. Again, got to be careful because you can end up getting boxed in this location.
He's really not getting anything done with these Mutas at the moment. He's really trying his best to find some damage. Okay, there's a little bit, but he's taking a lot of damage. I'm hearing Mutas die.
Yep. Looks like there's one fire. Oh, actually, this angle, not bad.
He's forcing stims, at least.
Yep. That's right, and of course, by forcing stims, you're going to deplete some of the medic energy for when the actual push comes out. But he has kept most of the Terran army off the map, minus this one control group that's moving around. I don't believe Flash has identified the location of this extra base. And he's got to be careful because if these Marines get over there and spot it.
Yeah. Well, does Jaedong have enough to actually hold on here? He's backing up. Those Mutas are pretty well bruised because of how much harassment they're doing. A few more will join up with the flock, and he withdraws. The Lurkers coming up for a little bit of a flank. The Lings are behind. This is very hard to control for both sides. Here Flash goes. He stims back, goes after these Lurkers, but now he gets sandwiched, and Jaedong crushing through this army.
But he's not done yet. There's an army headed northbound right over here with 2 tanks. No science vessel out just yet. I believe he only has 1 Lurker with that. If he can get a scan and kill that off and keep reinforcing, 2 Lurkers actually up there right now, 4 more also headed to meet up with the group. We also see the Scourges out right now. He's going to try to send the Scourge to intercept the science vessel that has not been sent outside of the base just yet.
Yeah, he's being very careful with that at the moment. If you lose science vessels, that is a quick way to lose a game. Bringing it up right now, he does have some Marines in front, so hopefully he can keep it alive as it moves forward.
Okay, he's going to go try to squash this army right up here. Lurkers coming in from every single angle.
This flank is just magnificent, taking out the siege tanks, and the Marines coming up for a flank, though. He gets the science vessel. A huge pickoff for Jaedong.
The Lings and the Lurkers now backing up with no science vessel out. Terran is entirely dependent on scans. Good job gunning down those drones over there. Meanwhile, Hive Tech on the way.
This is pretty low econ Hive. He's had a hard time droning up this third. The third was a little bit late itself as well. So kind of interesting. He's going up there at the moment. He needs to get to Defilers and get to the Nidus so that he can actually support that base.
One important thing to note is that the Zerg player expanded at the upper left, so this is a lot harder to reinforce. Terran's actually getting in the way of the Zerg's reinforcements, which is making it very tricky for him to have the right amount to actually come up here and defend. In fact, sometimes Zerg is having to take the long way, arcing all the way around to the upper right and then to the upper left. Oh, bad time. think the Umbro right
he's
there.
lining them up.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to make it a lot harder, especially in a choke. You don't get as much surface area. But Jaedong coming up with the rest of his forces. Jaedong moving back once again here. A very solid scan. He's starting to pick up the lurkers, but this is a lot of Lings and Mutas coming up from behind.
The Marines now come up and gun down a lot of those drones, but Jaedong will be able to clean up the rest of this. As Artosis was saying earlier, Terran is on, just these 2 bases, but Zerg is barely mining from this base in the upper left.
Yeah, his economy is low.
Yeah, he's actually gunned down a good amount of those drones over there. He's really just mining the gas, which is the most important thing for him to try to get.
Flash does kind of catch these units coming out. Didn't get his stim off right away, so doesn't get maximum damage. But with this Irradiate, as well as the Siege Tank, he can start to push this back again, and Jaedong's going to have to bring up more units to flank.
Jaedong with some more lurkers over here. He may bro some of those lurkers to try to intercept the remaining attack that's coming up here. The skirts now come in, and the Science Vessel goes down.
He does
but
have
Flash
a timely
is not
scan.
done yet.
Yeah, he goes right through, gets those lurkers, and will start to beat up on this base once again. Jaedong gonna give it up, though. He's going for a counterattack. Can he get through here? Spider-Mine's just now being laid. 2 bunkers already, but no units in them quite yet.
He has broed the lurkers. More Lings are spilling forward. The Science Vessel does go down.
Big repair going down onto this bunker as well, but it looks like it will plow through it. Nothing in the secondary bunker. Those were very well placed, but Flash was not prepared for this attack. The thing is, he has a lot of units coming out, and there's no Lings helping.
And keep in mind, there are actually, there's nothing over here that can't fight these head-to-head. He's going to come down. It looks like Flash should be able to save this. Yes, he does take out that last lurker. And now it's 2-base Zerg versus 2-base Terran. That is very bad for Jaedong.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He did get a lot of SCVs and a lot of the Marines there, but as you said, this is a tough position for Zerg. You're sitting here on Hive Tech trying to support getting lurkers and defilers. You still have to make a lot of Lings to help with those units. They can't just fight alone. And he's got to get his 3rd base up and mining.
Flash pokes into the bottom right to see if there's any expo there. There is not, with Jaedong hiding this base over here in the upper left. He can put lurkers at the ramp, but that makes it much tougher for Marines to push up. But I think overall the army here for Jaedong might just be too sparse.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. The kind of mobility that you have with these Marine Medic, as long as you're hitting your scans and not walking into lurkers, oh my God.
That was close.
That would have been crazy. Great move by Jaedong to try to catch there. Not going to be able to.
Okay, now with 1 Irradiate there, he will be able to bust the ramp.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to get lurkers up here. I don't believe he has enough time to get a Nidus. I don't think the hatchery is close enough to completion. And even if he does get a Nidus, it's possible he might still be able to crush this. So instead, Jaedong is going to try to come up from behind, possibly boxing this army in above the ramp after he takes this out.
Now, there is still a chance, maybe, well, he can't really hold that base. He's actually going to turn around realizing he's not quite quick enough, going to have to cancel that hatchery. But with Dark Swarm, there's still a slight possibility he can get something done. There's only a couple vessels and not that many spider mines on the map yet.
If he gets that Defiler, that's huge.
Yeah, really needs that Defiler. And
although the spider mines are connecting with these lurkers, so these lurkers are so badly bruised, the Marines can then take them out. That may be it. We might see Jaedong tap out.
Yeah, you could be right.
Right now, Flash is played SK Terran style. That's mass Marines with science vessels. Yeah, that's going to be it. GG.
All right. Wow. That was a really good one. Very back and forth at times. Low econ Jaedong just not able to hold on. Stayed on mutas for a very long time this game. And unfortunately, it didn't quite pay off.
Really impressive stuff. Now Flash back in the lead. Jaedong did take a risk back there. He took a very unorthodox 3rd base, one that allowed him to be deceptive for a little bit, but once it was identified, incredibly difficult to send reinforcements there to cover.
Yeah.
Flash was able to cut off reinforcements over and over. There simply were not enough lurkers. He was never able to get proper amount of drones mining from that base.
Yeah.
And when defilers were out, it was already too late. The 3rd base bit the dust, and not short after that, so did Jaedong.
It's very true, and it kind of shows why the meta is changing a little bit. Look at this. Jaedong is angry about this. He's taken off his jacket. He's rolling up his sleeves. The Tyrant is ready for game number 4.
I'm not sure what Jaedong needs to do in this next game to win this. He has done some very deceptive strats, but it seems like once Jaedong starts pushing, it does not stop.
Man, Flash is a complete monster. This is What a series that we have here tonight, Tasters. Whoever wins is going to the finals of ASL.
Oh, man. Guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, game number 4, Flash versus J-Dog in the ASL.
로드 모바일이라고 들어보셨습니까? 다른 사람들이랑 막 싸울 수도 있어요. 우리끼리 막 협동해가지고 싸울 수도 있어요. 서로 막 도와주고. 식인 물고기. 쩔었다 이거. 이렇게 스킬도 쓸 수 있어요. 싸울 수 있어. 이게 핸드폰 게임이야? 뭐 언제까지 줘? 제발! 아 내가 훨씬 많아 이거. 공격 도대체 어디서 나오는 거야 얘네들? 불버전 셋이 낫지 않습니까? 지금 플레이스토어에서 설치하세요.
부산지도 아닙니까 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지.
네.
취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠줄 수 있어요.
이야. 아 자갈시장 도쿄. 도착했어요 자갈시장. 오우. 자 나오세요. 자 가면서 나오시고 2시간. 야 이겼다. 이번에 이겼어. 콜 한번 거서.
바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단.
클래스 있다면 4번. 아 좋아요. 타이페이죠 타이페이. 광안리.
괌이다.
괌. 야 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요 내장. 오.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 그거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
It's time for game number 4, Flash versus J-Dong. Right now, Flash is up 2-1.
Yeah, and that means he's on match point for the rest of the match. He wins either of these next 2 games. He has got it, and he goes to the finals. But we saw J-Dong, and this is serious, guys. I'm talking for real here. He took off his jacket and rolled up his sleeves, okay? And this is something that you will see from very top-end players. Like, they lose, they get angry, and their body temperature goes up. Like, this is not a joke. I remember in StarCraft 2, like, everyone thought this was so funny when I'm like, oh, not as serious. Because Leenock beat him game 1. He took off his jacket and rolled up his sleeves, and then he 2-0'd him from there. It's like, no. J-Dong so serious right now. He has got to put out his absolute best game here in game number 4.
Flash is looking very solid when it comes to the pushes. If J-Dong loses one too many lurkers, everything falls apart.
That is very true indeed.
Seriously, you watch these games and it's really close, and then the lurkers start to pop, and it's like everything.
Fun.
Yeah, the
fun
entire
don't stop.
Yeah, it's they start popping like popcorn when you're playing against Flash. And then, you know, Jadon cannot hold any position against the onslaught of Flash's push.
Well, I don't think that we're going to see another Mutalisk opener. It's
I
kind
don't
of a
think
guess
so.
for me from Jadong, so...
Keep in mind, neither player is really cheesed.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we saw the lurker drops back there in game 1, guys. That's not cheese at all. That's called a, wait for it, strategy.
Well, we'll see if he has another strategy in this game that might allow him to win.
One of those strategies. All the good players are using to win the games.
Strategy.
All right, guys, get ready, get hyped. This is game 4. Flash versus J-Dog in a fight to get to the finals of the ASL.
Cause I've had enough.
All right, it started in the upper right, in the teal, our Terran player in the lead 2-1, it's Flash. And in the bottom left, in the white, he has to win this game and the next to survive, Jadong.
I'm just sitting here thinking, like, how epic would it be if we got to a game number 5 here?
Oh.
I feel like the only way that we could properly express it is that if we promise the viewers we would jump off this balcony holding hands at the end of the game. JG!
Yeah.
And there's like tears in our eyes as we just fall over the balcony.
They just put us in a rocket and shoot us into the sun.
Yeah. Human sacrifice is the only way
That's
to
right.
properly explain the epicness.
And before the finals, we will carve the heart. Take the heart of a nerd on top of a zuggerot.
Oh, man. All right, Flash looks like he's going to be walling in at the front of his natural, so probably going to be quite a fast expansion here and quite a greedy one as well.
Yes. And I think that's actually a pretty viable build on a map like this.
Yeah. If you wall in, you can kind of just like hold on. It's not that, even if you have like 2 depots together, like I was talking, Zerglings get 3 put SCV there, they can't get through.
Yeah, you're fine.
Even if you stand a Marine there, they're fighting single file. But like if you're sitting behind a wall, you know, if you don't do that, if you don't have a wall in, you have to make Marines kind of nonstop to make sure you can stop their lings.
Now wait. He hasn't made a barracks yet. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I think it could be command center first is what it is.
It's either that or he's about to make a barracks here.
Well, this would be the latest
barracks. Okay, so CC first. I guess that makes sense when you really think about it.
Yeah.
Because he's already up in a game. Getting CC first can be risky. You can just lose immediately if they ling rush you, but of course that's a risk in of itself for the other player.
It's kind of hedging bets the way that he's doing it, though. You know, with a wall in down there, he might be able to, you know, fudge a hold against something like that, and he sent his SCV out. So he kind of knows what's going on, and this is going to give, like, as far as build orders go, Flash should have a slight edge from this.
Yeah, I would say so. Now, it looks like a 3rd drone is being sent out over here in the upper left. Now, keep in mind that position. Hold up. Drone's actually now moving over here towards the upper right. But he did put that over the main there. We've seen Flash go for 3 hatches before. You know, you want to keep an eye up there.
Well, he's just scouting as best he can right now, checking out what's going on, and we'll just see where he wants to go from here. Setting up multiple depots, and you know, the one problem with this wall in, based on this position, is the Marines pop out the front of the barracks. You don't get to choose.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Unlike in StarCraft 2, where you can rally at a certain point and they'll pop out along the line of that rally, they basically pop out at the bottom left, unless something's there, and then it'll move it more to the right. So having things spawn at the bottom of your wall can be tricky. You can be punished. I don't think it's going to be as much of a factor in this game.
No, I don't think it's going to come up.
But it's something to definitely watch out for in other StarCraft games.
That's just, it's part of the reason why you see the barracks placed in the way that it's placed right now. You might be like, oh, why shouldn't that flush against the depot? Well, because then the Marines are stuck outside and you have to lift it, and you don't want to do that. So he just makes tight little crevices that the Marines go through. The SCV going to keep on top of how many lings are here for quite some time anyways. And, of course, he does see the 3 hatcheries coming up from Jadong.
SCV microed back around. He's going to continue to rotate and keep these lings as busy as possible while he tries to monitor, okay, how many lings is he getting versus drones. That does get taken out. And
killed quite a bit quicker than we saw in some previous games.
Wait a minute. That's a quick den, Artosis.
Yeah. Looks like I think he's not going to do anything like too crazy with this. He could try something like Hydras to attack now.
That's what I was wondering, because you don't need to get the den that fast.
Yeah, Hydras are... It's a pretty cheesy thing to do against Terran.
Well, it's
super
crazy.
uncommon.
Yeah.
Like, Jaedong has done it before. In fact, like the only game with a queen back in the day,
well,
he did Hydras.
We don't have a layer yet, unless it's in that middle hatch. So I think he might just be doing that. So just for clarification, guys, you probably have seen Hydras at the start of the game, but those are just for lurkers. Now, you can't get lurkers unless you have the layer tag.
Yeah.
So what he's actually going to do is try to do a Hydra bust before medics are too much of a factor here, and stim is too much of a factor.
Yeah, and this is
I think.
it'll come quick, and he can go to the high ground with it as well. The depots and the barracks should all die from this for sure. And he's going to have to make multiple bunkers. So
yeah,
this is like kind of a clever move. Okay, he sees a Hydra's coming. That is so important. He can start his bunkers now.
Now, this is a gamble here from Jaedong. He is doing... oh, wow, that's timed out so well. He's going to get the medic.
Really well done.
Remember, we were talking about, guys, they spawn, closer to the bottom there, so that could be problematic. He's got the Hydras now making a beeline across the map.
Yeah, they're coming very quickly right now. He's got to get some bunkers started. This is actually kind of scary. He's making multiple barracks, so he is going to get a lot of bio, but you kind of need both stim, range, and medics.
Yeah.
When you have all three of those, you are going to start crushing this, this Hydro Ling type of style.
Okay, he's going to come out now.
He's coming right out.
Now, if he targets, he can shoot these down before the medics can heal them in time. Fire bats are not going to be too helpful alone against Hydras.
Yeah, the Hydra's starting to really bust in here. SCV's coming out, but he is in trouble. The medic's going to fall for sure. The bunker's very, very late here.
Okay, he's trying to micro back. He had to land the barracks again. He wasn't able to produce from that for a little bit here. The SCVs are in the way right now. These Marines, they need to get inside that bunker. And there's just nothing here to defend right now but the workers he was intending to protect.
This is very bad right now for Flash. He's losing a lot. Ling's coming up as well. The SCVs are fighting valiantly and will repair this bunker, so maybe he can still hold, but his economy is shattered.
Yep, he can try to gun down the rest of the workers. No, he's going to go into the main. He's going to intercept the production of the Marines.
This is such a big deal. The SCV's being pulled. He's got some Marines here to help out as well, but he needs those SCVs in front. The SCV's glitching on top of a Marine that just popped out. More Lings on the way as well.
Now, Jaedong has to end this game pretty quickly here. Otherwise, Terran stabilizes with Marines and medics, and it becomes too problematic for Jaedong.
And you know what? Flash might just kind of stabilize here. It might become too cost inefficient for Jaedong to keep going, but he's going to break down this wall, and I think with the amount of SCVs he's killed, even if this rush ended, he's in good shape.
He's coming forward now. Now, stim is done. Every time he stims, he's not really able to heal because there's no medics here, so he has to make absolute good use of that. The Lings and the Hydras are coming up. This window timing might actually win the game.
It could possibly. A Marine with medic coming down. The SCVs continue to try to surround these Hydralists. Oh, the Ling finishes off that singular Marine. More and more Hydras coming across the map still.
Okay, he's beginning to come forward. He wants to gun down that medic, and he does just that. Next to Marine, micros the Hydras back.
He's got to keep these Hydras alive. He does not want them surrounded right now. Not a huge amount of drones at home, as you can see.
Oh, my God.
Oh, a couple
that's really
Hydras
bad.
left. That is a big deal.
Yeah, he needs every Hydra here. It makes a huge difference. Has not noticed that. It still may not matter. The first barracks is going to go down, but he still has 4 more in the main.
Yeah, still producing as best as he can. He can't even produce off of everything. His economy is so weak. That bunker flanking the Hydras as they walk in. That's actually very, very nice. It does add that +1 range, of course, so doing a good job, but he continues to break it down.
Okay.
A scan finds the layer.
Yeah, he's switching into layer tech. The Hydras are going to come forward, it looks like now. Can he get those Marines? And the SCV making the bunker. It looks like he will not. But he does manage to zone out the Marines from actually entering the bunker.
There's no Marines in that bunker right now. He's going to pick them off as they try to come up. The SCV's coming up, trying to surround, and another flank from that one Marine, but this is too many Hydras.
He's gunning them down. He's unable to defend. That's the tipping point. GG.
That is crazy. We are going to game number 5. Flash against Jaedong.
Wow.
The crowd
Such an unorthodox strategy coming from Jaedong. That is so difficult to execute if they just get enough medics
with the Marines, and they have stim. They can hold off everything. Jaedong had to choose when to hit the SCVs, when to hit the Marine, when to hit the individual medic, how to position the Hydras. He did it perfectly, and he's taken out the #1 Brood War player of all time with that strategy.
Just wild to have these two in such form that they are hitting game number 5 as they reignite their career-long rivalry that they've had with each other. Do have to be slightly critical of Flash. He really should have been making bunkers a bit earlier. The fact that he thought he could come out and just pick off enough Hydras.
You know what?
He was a little bit misinformed on how many there would be out there.
I think he might have not noticed there was speed. He might have glanced so quickly he didn't identify.
Maybe.
And then he suddenly there's like 7 Hydras at his entrance. He's like, oh God, okay. Man, ooh.
All right, game 5 is coming up soon. I have no more words to say tonight about just how crazy and epic that this truly is.
For the remainder of this tournament, Artosis will cast this game through interpretive dance.
Oh my God. I don't even, I mean, I'm a great dancer. I'm gonna, let me be honest, I'm a great dancer, but I can't dance well enough for these guys.
Yeah. Guys, I believe we're gonna be going to a short break, and when we return, the final game to decide our victor between Flash and Jaedong.
From the beginning to the end, all I remember is pain. Was I ever born? Can I die? Who was I? Who am I now? I will overcome all of this. The shadows are falling, they're falling, they're falling around me. Not afraid, not afraid. The wolves are closing, they're closing, they're closing in on me. Not afraid, not afraid. The shadows are falling, they're falling, they're falling around me. Not afraid, not afraid. The wolves are closing, they're closing, they're closing in on me.
마음이 가는 대로 즐겁고 신나게 쓰자. 캠퍼스 시리즈.
클래시를 BJ 팀매치로 인사를 드립니다.
되게 운이 좋은 것 같아요 항상.
밤새 연습하고 지금 올라왔어요.
메가미니를
아니 이건 도겸이 못 살리네.
땀 흘렸습니다. 자, 이걸 어떻게 세레모니
힘이 가져다주는 힘이 어느 정도까지 지켜보겠고요.
부캐라고 말씀드릴 수 있죠.
대단한 역전극입니다. 도겸 팀입니다.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개 시청자 여러분들이 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요. 도쿄 넌 내 거야. 짠! 4번. 오케이. 정답입니다. 아, 예. 운도 좋아 운도. 광을 뵙겠다. 가자.
저 입수하러 갈게요. 저희는.
여러분들 스노우앱 하면은 가장 좋은 기능 중에 하나가 실시간으로 적용되는 아이템. 맞디? 스노우앱 기능이 어마무시하죠 진짜로? 원반입니다. 빵로모띠. 저한테 채팅으로 보내주시면 치킨 5마리를 뿌리겠습니다 시청자분들. 라이즈 오빠 상해요. 급식이야? 와 센스!
내가 상당히 초점을 따고
실시간으로 친구들이랑 가족들이랑 이제 사진 보내주고 같이 함께 꾸미면 더욱더 이쁜 스노우에
댄스 위드 와인 결선 무대를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요. 꼭. 네.
1등은요 축하합니다 2SC
축하드립니다.
와우. We are back at the ASL. One game remains to decide the winner between Flash and J-Dog.
We revisit map number 1 from the series, Eye of the Storm. This has been so tight so far with just innumerable strategies coming out, especially from J-Dog here. Flash has been on the back foot, and J-Dog has thrown aggression after aggression at him.
Artosis and I were talking on that break. We say Magic 8 Ball says cheese.
Yes.
We're thinking J-Dog probably will cheese this game, but it will not be that that strat from the last game. You will not win a best of 5 doing that twice in a row.
No,
that's like
that build is like just, and Flash knows that he should just build the bunkers. Like that build is just not something you really see. Hydras are not really that good against Terran.
Well, there's a reason why you don't see Hydra Ling against Terran. It's because once medics come into the game, they cannot compete with the healing power comboed with Stim.
Yes.
But the strategy J-Dog did, he hits right when there's about 1 to 2 medics out. And really the goal is to kill the medics and then deny entry to the bunkers, and you win. I mean, had Flash actually held that and gotten bunkers set up, you would not be watching anymore because the stream would be over.
Yes, that's right. Well, you'd probably still be staring at your screen like, damn, we're so good.
Yeah.
But, the stream would be off and we would be on our way home.
So now we're going into this last game. Now, what does Flash do exactly? He has done some somewhat risky openers. He's very fond of getting that command center on the low ground right away, and I want to emphasize that's a lot harder than it looks. It's really easy to beat up a Terran in the first few minutes of a game.
Yeah.
Terran only gets strong when they get the combination of the right units.
That's right.
Now, maybe J-Dog does do a standard game. I'm just not sure if he can compete with Flash's macro. So far, Flash is just, J-Dog is just out-strategizing Flash.
Yeah, that's how he's got 2 points on the board. So let's see, can he do it one more time? Or will Flash, as expected by most people, make it to the finals of the ASL?
It's been a close series so far. Nobody really knows what to expect out of these two as we go into our last match. By the way, the winner of this series is going to go up against C. That will be for the ASL Finals, which will be on Sunday at 5 p.m. KST, so don't miss out. But enough about that. On to this. It's time for game number 5. Flash versus J-Dog, a fight for the ASL Finals.
All right, in the bottom left, in the yellow, our Terran player, Flash. And his opponent here in the upper left, in the teal, our Zerg player, Jaedong.
So hard to predict what this guy will pull out this game.
So they're both hugging the left side of the map here.
Yeah. 4-player map.
That does mean if Jaedong takes a traditional Zerg third base, which would be far away, he'll be going to the upper right. That doesn't mean that it favors one race, but that does mean that it's more feasible for Jaedong to play standard.
Yeah. Yeah, like, definitely if he wants to play macro, his expansions get further away. And, you know, the bulk of his defense, your defense is generally at your natural anyways, so that is a really good thing for him. And don't forget, you know, dropships are not as big a deal in StarCraft 1 as in, like, let's say StarCraft 2, but the natural does block the main base for Jaedong here. So
that's right.
Dropping him is, for Flash, a little bit harder to pull off correctly, you know?
Yeah, it's harder to.
It's like you have less
an element of surprise is not going to be quite there, since there's more to cover in other locations like that. Now we're still waiting to see, will it be barracks first or command center first? It looks like it'll be barracks. Yep, since he already sent the SCV out like that. Going back over to Jaedong, we don't see a spawning pool yet, so he'll be going hatch first as well. Although we should not expect any aggression from Terran here.
Yeah, he's going to be drone scouting as well, so he's kind of on top of everything. His Overlord did go in the right direction, which can be pretty nice to be able to see like the timing of the command center extremely easily. But both of them playing very safe here with a, you know, just overall the fact that we see the drone scout and we see the barracks. He's not risking anything on like a CC first. Never know what Jaedong will throw at you.
Okay, now the spawning pool. So it'll be 2 hatch into spawning pool, the most standard ZVT build you can do. Doesn't mean he won't try something risky later on, but if you guys do want to learn build orders, this is the one you would be copying from Jaedong. Now Flash does appear that he's gearing up to take a command center pretty quickly here, but he is scouting out first to see what exactly Zerg's up to.
Yeah, super safe with 2 SCVs out on the map right now. Kind of running that drone. Jaedong trying to slow him down as best as he possibly can. Jaedong at Overlord, okay, I think he sees exactly where he is now. I think the drone is still out there. Okay, he does turn around. It took him just a moment longer than expected, but
chasing out this Overlord here. The third hatchery, if you notice, that's put in between the main and the expansion. That's so that if Zerg does want to put tech somewhere, Terran might have to spend up to 3 scans to spot it.
Yeah, very
That's why
much
you
so.
never see the hatchery hugging one of the other 2 hatches. It's just better. You also just have more area that you can see inside your base. As we saw in Game 1, drops can be very effective. So you definitely want to have all that covered.
Definitely very, very true on that. So, standard openers from both sides.
That's right.
Will Jaedong do something hyper-aggressive coming up? You know, this is part of what he really became known for when he first rose up is very aggressive play, but more important than that, extremely decisive. If he decides to do something, he does it. Being extremely decisive in StarCraft, I cannot explain how important that is. If you hem and haw at all, you will die.
Yeah, that's very true. So the SCV continuing to run around. It looks like that should be picked off in a moment here. I don't even think he's going to be able to turn around. He tries, but is denied. And we'll be having the layer tech start up here. Again, guys, if you only saw game number 4, like you tuned in a little bit late, and you're not having as good of a time as everybody who tuned in right when the show started, that strat that Jaedong did is very unorthodox and very risky. Like, do not try that at home, kids.
Oh, no.
You're going to have a very bad time and be very confused about what you saw Jaedong do. That is a strategy.
That's like almost why he does it, is because it's so crazy that Flash is like, wait, what? And I mean, we even saw Flash make a mistake. If you make the bunkers, you're going to hold that, but he's like, oh, no, I can just kind of hold this as such a bad build, but apparently not.
So we're going to have to see in a little bit here what tech the Zerg elects to go for. There's basically 2 options. It's either Lurker Tech or Spire Tech. By the way, Artosis, we have not actually seen Bio into Mech, really. Although the games have not really allowed for it so far.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's part of Jaedong's style overall, is forcing this, wow, a Spire. But he's calling all the shots. He's forcing the flow of the game based on what he's doing because he's putting that type of pressure on Flash where Flash doesn't have time to comfortably, just back up and switch tech routes. But the fact that Jaedong is going for Spire, I'm very surprised about, I have to say. It didn't work out so well for him last time.
But you know what? In the last game, he went Spire. He did have that hidden Expo that he then couldn't protect. So
these are better spots.
Yeah.
You're right about that. Like with the Mutas, if he takes a third towards the 12 o'clock area, which is probably where he'll take it, the bio can't really get there.
I think he's going to take it.
It's way too far.
Yeah, it looks like we actually have a drone headed to the upper right to take that right now. Normally you take that third base while the Spire's making. Terran doesn't quite have the muscle to move out on the map just yet.
Yeah, I'm actually very glad, even though I definitely predicted otherwise than the Spire. I'm glad that we're seeing it because this is classic Brood War, right? It's the Mutalist player trying to hold back the Terran, with the just Mutalist micro being around the map, kind of scaring him back. And in these spots, I mean, it's definitely something that is going to have a better chance than in that previous game. So let's see if Jaedong can be really on point with this Mutalist micro.
So the Mutas are coming. We're about to see who wins this series and goes to the finals in the hardest one-on-one game ever made. That's right, I said it, guys. Hardest one-on-one game ever made. Someone's saying, but what about Floyd Mayweather? He's an amazing boxer. Is he good? No. Watch him try to play StarCraft. He'd probably keep his boxing gloves on. He wouldn't even be able to use the hotkeys, okay? Conor McGregor, I think Jaedong and Flash still take him out.
Oh, for sure. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Not even close.
That's right.
Okay, turrets on the way. The Mutas are already out, but the Marines are in really good position here to support those turrets, make sure that they get finished no matter what.
So right now, it's Zerg that gets to be the aggressor. Terran has to weather the storm. Sometimes Terrans just get set up so perfectly, they're fine. No. The main was not ready.
Yeah.
There's nothing here in the main. And actually, Flash is just going for it. He's booking it right over there to the north. In fact, the Mutas have to pull out. I don't know if he made enough sunken colonies in time. We don't have a shot of it just yet.
Yeah, he's going to have to go all the way back north with his Mutalist right now. Flash can do some tricky moves like turn around and try to catch some of those Mutas. Looks like he's actually running right by him right now. Jaedong is.
What is going on here? This is kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is really crazy.
He's going to try to see if he can't intercept any remaining units now.
Ooh, really good move right here by Jaedong as Flash comes back. He's trying to catch part of his army. The Muta's picking off some of these medics and Marines. At least he got Flash to turn around, though. Very important moment.
Yeah, I thought the game was going to end there. But Flash is pushing hard. I don't know if Jaedong is going to be ready for this. He's actually making a push to the upper right. I don't believe we have any lurkers available whatsoever to try to help hold this. It's very important that both these guys control their armies perfectly. Somebody miscontrols and everything can fall apart. Nice sandwich!
Ooh, a fantastic flank there by Flash. Say that 3 times fast. Well,
we are waiting to see if the lurkers can come out in time. Jaedong is trying to draw attention away. 2 Hydras rather out over here right now. Right now, Jaedong is sacking Lings to trade into the Marines while the Mutas Glaives do the damage.
I think the problem here is still, even if he gets those lurkers out in time and saves his third base, he's lost a lot of Lings and a lot of Mutas. He's not really getting that much value out of this.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have the eggs just yet.
Yeah, he's
Can you actually make a wall there with that?
Yeah, 2 eggs will make a wall.
Okay, that's what he's going to do then.
Marines don't kill lurker eggs. They're basically invincible.
Yeah, it's very hard to kill an egg in Brood War. But I don't know if the upgrade is late. I would have thought this would have been at least started by now.
Yeah, he's... Oh! This is really bad for Jaedong. So Jaedong loses to this third base 100%. He has to get something done. I don't know what that something is. Like, he's just flying around the middle of the map. He has... Oh, he's going 2 base high right now.
He might go for Guardians.
Is
that possible?
He might. It is possible. I wonder if he'll try something crazy like 2 base Ultralist play. I don't think he got his Carapace upgrades quick enough, but we'll see. Trying to engage some of these units in the center of the map, gaining any value he can with these units.
Now, what Flash is doing here, he's pushing with a lot of muscle. I think he's got 5 or 6 Raxes up. That's how he's able to have so much presence on the map, where even with the finesse of Jaedong, he's having a hard time really combating it.
Losing a lot of these Mutalists during all this, but he is like whittling down this army a little bit, which is important, but the rest of Flash's army is coming back, so he has to be very careful with the rest of his units.
Okay,
this game is not 100% unwinnable for Jaedong, but it is very tough right now, especially if he loses things like these lurkers.
I don't know if he saw that. Okay. No hold position there.
Okay, he's going to go up with this. He has a good amount of lings here, and in fact, will push everything back for the time being. He's going to be careful not to lose everything, though. Nice surround with those lings running past, but going to end up losing basically all the mutas.
Whoa, that's why you need to have more mutas out there. Okay, the split is too good. I'm not seeing Flash this time around here.
Ooh, yeah, he's going to lose that lurker as well. Definitely going to go down. But what tech is he going for? Is he going for ultras? Is he going to try to go for a 2-base Defiler play?
Yeah, he can't go for Guardians because he lost the mutas.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, Guardians are out of the picture. Okay, it is Defiler play. No big surprise there. We've seen people try the 2-base Ultra. It doesn't work so well. You really need those early carapace upgrades to support it, but Jaedong just kind of running around. He's trying to buy a little bit of time. He does have that hidden base that Flash doesn't know about. Flash looks like he's going to check that top right again as well.
Yeah, now taking the bottom right, which is what Jaedong's actually doing, is a little bit risky, but it's also unlikely that he'll check again down there.
Flash has so much on the map right now. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Okay,
good control.
Yeah, but these lurkers are super dead.
Yeah, you can't be out in the middle like this.
2 lurkers in the middle is really weak, but he has a lot of lings coming up for a flank. This is good unit movement by Jaedong, running away from Flash's army. Very good with these lings. Going to be able to pick those off super easily.
You know, I got to hand it to Jaedong. He's doing a very impressive job with the small amount of units he has, but Flash is not stopping at this growth rate. By the way, this expansion has been spotted. Okay, good lurker trap there. He needs to run now. He needs to run out of range of that scan, ideally over here to where the ramp is.
He actually has a Nidus about to finish.
Yep.
Which means he can get Defilers and Lurkers over there, and with those, you're not going to actually break this third base. In fact, you're not going to break anything. You have to start doing things like drops and science vessels.
Okay, Nidus network is done. He sieges up. He's going to bro back here, out of range of that siege tank. Now getting these lings and lurkers over here. And Jaedong can get this expansion up and hold off this attack. Now this game goes on.
This is still really hard for him to be able to cast these Dark Swarms in the right amount of time, position everything correctly as well. Gonna lose another lurker there. He's still hemorrhaging units, but he's got the right type of tech here that he can keep this base alive.
Yeah, lurkers are still in position over here. Keep in mind, a Flash is not getting to third base anytime soon here. Dark Swarm goes down. The Marines cannot touch this base just yet.
Yeah, but they have a lot of surface area to work with, running around, trying to get towards this Nidus. If they can pick that, then they can end up killing this base off.
Okay, meanwhile, a drop over here. No lurkers to help defend.
Super strong move. The drones have to be pulled. In fact, sent to the other base, even dropping in the main. And the Nidus going to end up going down. A huge move by Flash, flanking that third base. He's in great shape to win this game.
I think Jaedong may have almost fallen apart here. He's only mining from his main right now. Flash basically has him surrounded. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Jaedong could do. Zerg do not have a lot of drones, guys, in this matchup. They're on a very small number of workers. And even if Jaedong manages to hold this is a lot of income lost right now. And even the main now not mining.
Yeah, he's barely got any income anywhere. He has a lot of lurkers sitting around, but look at this. He can't even kill this 1-1 Marine with a medic.
This Marine's about to have 8 kills.
This is so funny. It's just sitting there wrecking everything. I can't even believe that Marine is still alive.
I think right now Jaedong is processing this loss.
Yeah.
I do not believe that he can realistically recover. I think that would take a miracle.
Yeah, it would take more than that, I think. Like, these siege tanks coming in are really sealing the deal. Jaedong has almost no drones, almost no economy. His third base is going to be going down. Flash still has a gigantic army.
Notice how he's forking his army out to the top end of the right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can recover from this. He's still basically not mining. He doesn't even need to put these in siege mode if he doesn't want to. He can just target this down. Brings a science vessel over here. Remaining Marines, and now Vultures coming out here to come reinforce this. No new third base in sight.
And look at the mini-map as Flash surrounds every area that Jaedong can leave his base from. He doesn't want any more of these shenanigans. No more running around for Jaedong.
GG!
Wow.
We have our winner. Flash has done it!
An epic series indeed for the 2 most epic players of all time. Flash taking that victory 3-2 over the Tyrant. And that means that we have got himself in the finals. Flash going to be going up against Seed this Sunday.
Unreal, man. What a special night it has been. And we couldn't ask for a closer series. It went all the way into Game 5.
craziness. This, like, what a night. Jaedong really brought it. As they were saying in the interviews, he's only been playing a couple months, right? Flash returned to StarCraft 1 a lot sooner than Jaedong. Flash for months now has been topping the Fish server. Jaedong's been a little bit behind. He's been getting better and better progressively, but he brought it tonight in a way I don't think many people expected.
Phenomenal games. Jaedong did go for standard ZVT style of play, but Flash set up with a 5 racks power push to come out. Jaedong was not able to keep up. The third base was stamped out. The hidden third base that was remade there at the bottom right was rolled over by Flash, and from there, Jaedong was simply put out of options.
Yeah, that really, really well played. The Mutalisks just not bringing the value that they once did here tonight for Jaedong. Having a very tough game both times that he opened up with Mutalisk before the Lurkers.
Yeah.
Flash's bio macro just too strong. His army movements too good.
Jaedong obviously feeling disappointed right now, but I got to tell you, man, he brought us a great series. He almost took out the god, the ultimate weapon, Flash.
This was an awesome night. Everyone who's been here waiting all day to see it, it paid off. Like, yeah. You stayed up all night to watch this, congrats, you made the right choice. Because this was a great series indeed.
Man, oh man. We're going to go to an interview in a moment here with Flash, whenever he's ready. See how he's feeling now that he's made it to the ASL Finals. He's going up against C, who's really been the dark horse of this tournament. C has already managed to take out Bisu and Best. Then again, they're Protoss and Flash is Terran. It's hard to imagine a series where Flash loses in a TVT to C, but C has really been bringing some very unexpected results.
Yeah, Flash is the best TVT of all time, so it is hard to see him losing that, but C is on point at the moment and has been playing Brood War for a very long time. He quit StarCraft 2 very quickly, whereas Flash stayed longer, so he's got a lot of experience in the new meta.
Yeah, I believe we're going to be loading up the replay over here as well in a minute to take a look at what happened, because there was a very decisive moment where the Mutas actually got into the main of Flash, and Flash did not react the way we had thought. He didn't go back. He just continued to push forward, and Jaedong panicked, pulled the Mutas back out and tried to cover.
He put the pressure on super fast and was quite slow with those Lurkers, unfortunately, but you know what? It was a great series.
Now on to the interview.
오늘 이 자리에 선 소감을 저는 듣고 싶습니다.
Flash, how do you feel right now?
예, 오늘 올라가서 너무 기쁘고요.
I'm so happy I was able to advance.
스스로도 경기력에 있어서 잘했다고 생각하고 승자와
I'm very satisfied.
다 있지만
especially with my play. I'm so proud I was able to beat Jaedong.
네, 유독 경기 끝나고 난 이후에 좀 여러 가지 생각이 잠긴 이영호 선수를 좀 봤거든요. 경기 끝나고 나니까 좀 어떤 생각이 들던가요?
It seems you're feeling a lot of emotions after winning that match.
일단 제일 먼저 들었고요. 너무 힘들었고.
Yes, it was a very difficult and tough match.
지고도 힘들었고, 4경기 지고도
after losing the first game,
멘탈 잡으려고
it was very hard to control my mental state
정말 한 끗 차이로
and get back and win that game number 2.
네. 이제 결승전이 기다리고 있습니다.
He says it was a close match. He's so happy.
결승무대에서는 이 쟁쟁한 선수들 홀리면서 엄청난 경기력으로 모든 걸 내려놓고 오로지 경기만 생각하는 연보성 선수와 맞대결이거든요. 연보성 선수 이런 이야기를 했습니다.
And now you're facing
이영호
C in
선수가
the finals.
올라온다면 꽤 재밌는 경기가 될 것 같다는 이야기를 남겼어요.
She said it'll be a fun TVT if you advance. How do you feel?
결승이 사실 아무래도 동독전이 결승에서 나오면 아무래도 좀 그래야 하는 분들도 많고 저 또한 그랬었는데
I know that a lot of fans don't like to see mirror matchups in the finals.
노력밖에 없다고 생각해요. 정말 패전의 끝을 보여드리겠습니다.
To create an interesting and fun match, we're both going to be trading hard, so definitely don't miss it.
하면은 연보성 선수 입장에서는 겁을 집어 먹을 법한데 예전의 연보성이 아니거든요. 진짜 운 좋은 연보성이기 때문에 예전의 연보성과 지금의 연보성은 뭐가 다르다고 생각을 하십니까?
C seems to be a very strong player this season. What's your take on him?
글쎄요, 아무래도 뭔가 좀 많이 내려놓고 하시는 느낌이 많이 강했고요. 뭔가 내려놨다는 의미가 편하게 게임을 한다는 의미.
I think he's just enjoying playing the game right now. That's sometimes the hardest thing to play up against. Everything's been working out well for him this year.
편하게 하는데 사실 저는 그거 농담이라고 생각해요.
It's going to be a tough finals for me, to be honest.
정말 우승하고 싶을 거고 정말 열심히 준비할 거라고 생각하기 때문에 저도 방심 안 하고
I know that he's going to prepare very hard for the finals. He's been desperate to win a championship, so I'm going to have to prepare well.
이번 KT ASL을 만들어주신 수많은 팬분들이 계시거든요. 오늘 수십만 명의 리쌍록을 지켜보면서 응원의 함성을 보내주셨습니다. 팬분들에게 한 말씀 해주신다면요.
Tens of thousands of people were watching this match today.
많은 분들이 와주셔가지고
what is your reaction to that? And he says, thank you, everybody, for coming to the studio tonight and watching online. It was like a dream come true to play in a studio like this against a player like Jaedong.
예, 앞으로도 많이 응원해주시고 결승 때
know we're going to have more and more Brood War tournaments after this, so I hope everybody continues to love and support StarCraft.
정말 축하드립니다.
Everybody's been getting better and better, and it's great to see everybody getting back to the great shape they were in the early days of Brood War.
정말 축하드립니다.
And that does it. Congratulations, Flash. Barely beating Jaedong. He eked out that last win. On a different day, we would have had a different result. Jaedong might have been the one going on to the finals.
Super epic match. The whole round of 4 has been just a complete pleasure to watch and
really.
Yeah, and now we have our finals coming up very quickly. We're not taking off any time whatsoever. Like, bring out Steve. No, it's on Sunday, guys. Make sure you tune in for that. 5 p.m. KST on Sunday.
Set your calendar, put it in your phone, put it in your PC, put it on your whiteboard calendar, whatever you use.
As you see, a 3-2 once again. Jaedong does fall, but without a doubt will be back in the next season. As far as I know, the top 4 do seed again.
That's right. I believe you're correct on that.
We'll get to see Best and Jaedong returning, of course, with Flash and Seed. And that already makes the next season one of the best tournaments ever.
Wow, man. Flash going to the finals. It's not going to be easy for C, but I mean, we said that when C was facing off against Bisu, and we were wrong, and then we said C was going to have a hard time against Best, and we were wrong. And we might be wrong again here. Do not assume that Flash is going to win this no matter what.
Oh. Yeah, no, it should be a good one. Looks like the last time a final that Flash was in was over 5 years ago. That's so funny.
Wow.
Because he retired and played StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
He was in finals in that. But yeah, that's kind of wild. Cannot wait for this Tasteless. This Sunday is going to be epic. If you guys want to go in Shincheon to this finals, you better show up early. Really early.
And that's the Mapo Shincheon guys, the one by Hongdae Station.
Yeah.
Because there's also the other
Yonsei University.
Yep, at Yonsei. Come down, get there really early, because otherwise you are not going to get in at all, and you're going to have to go down the street into a coffee shop and watch on your phone.
Yeah, that's about it.
Like a forever pleb.
There'll probably be a lot of other forever plebs there with their phones watching the same thing. Maybe someone with a tablet can set it up for all you.
Yeah. Guys, thanks so much for joining us in what was a very special night in esports. There's no active esport that's as old as Brood War, and frankly, nothing even comes close at all. And it's back on the rise here in South Korea.
Yeah.
And we love casting it for you guys. We grew up on this game, competing in this game. So we are really happy to share this game with you.
I'll be happy to cast Brood War for the next 50 years.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not even joking. I will be the oldest man. You are going to have to come in with a coffin and put me in it to make me stop.
But I'm not dead yet. I think I have a few more years to live, and I just close the lid on our toast and bury him. Here's where our location is, so you can see where Shincheon Station is.
Yonsei University. It's not hard at all to find from there.
No, I think you go...
the area is not as big as that map makes it look.
Yeah, and I think you just walk down through that, by that big church, and then onto the Yonsei campus.
We always have big signs and stuff too.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it'll be where all the people are running towards.
That's right.
As if it's a reverse fire. They're not running away from it; they're running to
A
it.
reverse fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it's going to be like.
That's it. That's what the finals is.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah.
Just came up with it.
That's really good. Guys, that is going to do it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We have our final C versus Flash. Be there in person. If you can't, then watch it online. For our toasts and myself, have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. We love you.
On my shoulders, I've always carried on. Thought they'd get lighter as I got older, but all I know is each minute that feels like a lifetime. The clock